Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another segment of FCTV's Podcast.
Woo!
So, today, we are going over the biggest blockbuster in cinema history. Granted, I don't know, has it beaten Avatar yet?
No, but it's really close
like
now.
5 mil away
Jesus
from Avatar.
Christ. It still has the best opening weekend,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
So, the
It
best
made
opening
1.2
weekend
billion
in all of cinema history goes to the one and only Avengers Endgame. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about Avengers Endgame. For those of you who have not seen it, this is 100% spoilers. I mean, yes, the spoiler ban is lifted. Watch at your own risk. If you don't care, you can watch this, do what you got to do. But this video will contain spoilers. We are talking about this movie. We're breaking this movie down. We're going to tell you guys what we like and what we don't like and a bunch of other type of stuff. So, thank you guys again for tuning in. I'm your host, Snapple Grapple. To the left of me is one of our special guests today of the food chain, the Hungry Patient.
Num.
And then, to the left of him is another special guest of the food chain today. We have us, the Bonsai Wolf Burger.
Oh yeah!
And to the left of him, my illustrious co-host, all of you know very well. Introduce yourself.
Yo, what's up? How's everyone doing today? I'm Jam Shake, and I hope we have a productive conversation about the hit film Avengers Endgame coming out April 27th, 2019.
All right, yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. We're actually in the past, I guess, because it's still coming out. Nah, but
That's a connection to the movie. Because in the hit movie Avengers Endgame coming out April 27th, 2019, they go back to the past.
Oh my God.
I ain't talking about Samurai Jack. They went into the future.
that being said, guys, we thank you guys for tuning in, and I will let Jam Shake start us off.
Want me to start?
What you got?
All right, so here's what I'm going to start with, right? All right. So, we start after the snap. After that snap. After that boy, Danny boy, Thanos, hit him with the snap, right? We talking
Grimace.
people depressed. Life in shambles. They say, what we going to do?
How many days went by since the snap?
Since the snap? Shit, I don't know, maybe like 4.
23.
It wasn't.
It was.
Listen.
So
23 days, right? Mm-hmm. And your favorite character, as we know, Lou's favorite character, Captain Marvel. Also, Mike's favorite character.
You can eat
Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is in with the Avengers now because the post-credit scene from Captain Marvel, the hit movie from March of 2019,
Still
maybe.
didn't see it.
hit movie.
Absolutely, watch our review.
Plug.
That's a plug. All right, but in the beginning, Captain Marvel's with the remaining Avengers, and they're kind of trying to figure out what they want to do because Thanos has bodied their shit, and he's chilling in another planet now. And they're kind of like, man, like, we took that L. We took a big L, and Captain Marvel's here now, so she's like, man, I'll fuck that nigga Thanos up. I mean, she right, but that nigga's also, like, crippled. Yeah. So they go to the planet, right? What a movie. And then they kill this nigga.
No. Say it right.
He was only...
Thor Hassan chopped that
Oh,
dude.
yeah, true.
Twice actually.
Bro, they cut his arm off, which I found interesting.
That was
Because
such
that
a
was
fast scene.
That was a really big,
That was a
like...
fast cut.
Everyone cut his arm off in the first movie, and I'm like...
Why aren't you Doctor Strange?
Yeah. And in this movie, he was like... you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
it literally said, "Whoom."
Yeah,
I was like,
all
what the
these
hell?
slices.
That's
They
like a
literally,
lightsaber.
they
Walked
literally
off like a
settled
boss.
everything from the past movie. And they was like, yeah, cut his arm off fast, go aim for the fucking head.
Yeah, legit.
Dude,
He
it
was
was like, we got 3 hours of movie to get through.
And that was
Seriously.
for real, and he's gone, bro. But you learn that he destroyed the stones.
Yeah, literally, the
Family
reason he was so
jewels.
vulnerable is because if you remember when he used the stones the first time, it like annihilated his arm. But we saw at the very end, there's a lot of videos on little Easter eggs that you might have missed. They show how what we think and speculated. I can't remember if it was confirmed or not, but the time stone healed his wounds when he went through the portal.
Oh,
And
I
went
don't
back
think
to
it
the garden.
did because like if you look in the scene of Infinity War, he's kind of limping still, it's not as severe as the beginning of Endgame.
Well, I
But he's
remember
kinda just
the
like,
axe. The axe
Oh, yeah.
hit got healed.
Yeah.
I can't speak for all this.
yeah, I think his arm and stuff is still a little messed up, but I don't. He's
little?
not like bleeding out from the chest.
Bro,
Yeah,
he
and he
looked
wasn't
like
dying
bacon.
from it.
Oh, but that was from the second snap. Though.
Yeah, the second snap when he destroyed
Yeah,
him.
when he destroyed him.
That's
He looked
where
like
he
straight
really
bacon.
damaged himself.
Yeah, he was a little bacon boy at the
He
time.
looked like a piece of bacon.
But
So at that point, they kill Thanos.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yes, but everyone's at the same time like,
like
no.
Because
like,
the-
now,
because the
Where's
plan was,
stones?
you know, to get the
Where's
stones
stones?
back,
Right.
and so they could bring everyone back.
right.
But Thanos destroyed the stone.
Right. So
Which
they
means
destroyed Thanos.
they're shit out of luck,
Seriously.
and they are for 5 years.
Seriously. So
For
then,
5 years.
From that point on, we skip to 5 years later. Now, I want to ask, we get this nice little segment of Captain America at like an Alcoholics Anonymous thing, but it's not Alcoholics Anonymous.
It's like Sadness
like
Anonymous.
It's like, where did they
Thanos
touch you?
Anonymous.
It's
Because
Bag Anonymous.
You're really, yeah. Because you're really like,
That's
it's
how it
really
was
just
before.
a meeting of people who are trying to overcome everything, and it's led by Captain America. You know, who else? You
In
know,
all
who-
realness, like,
who
they
better to
all
lead
went
the
through some
people?
serious trauma.
Right. So,
Like,
Keeb,
Damn.
I want to know, what did you think about the first act? That scene where we opened up to Cap talking to the people, and then we skip forward. He meets up with the rest of the remaining Avengers, who are doing little missions here and there now. You have Natasha, who's actually. It seems like she's leading the Avengers.
She's
right
almost
now.
like head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
status.
She's had a
Seriously.
shield, but it was literally that was her coping mechanism of getting everything. Because
Yeah.
she was honestly just burying herself in work to get out.
To not
of everything.
think, yeah.
Yeah.
She literally even said it. She said, like being an Avenger was all she had.
Yeah.
She had nothing else. So
And then-
to lose that, she couldn't lose that. She would have
had them
like
cakes.
she would have went crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it also makes me think back to like literally the first scene of seeing Hawkeye's perspective of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then when we fast forward to that, I was just like, damn, everybody's going through some shit right now.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Honestly,
Seriously.
yeah.
Oh yeah, one thing that we did speed past. The movie opens up.
Oh
with
yeah,
Hawkeye.
cold opens with Hawkeye.
So
yeah.
you get to see why Hawkeye is acting as crazy as he
He's
is.
on his Ronin.
He,
Yeah.
That's why
he turns
he's
into
Ronin.
Ronin because the snap. Like the opening scene takes place before the snap. Like as everything's happening in Infinity
Why the
War.
hero that
He
we
went
needed
back to
wasn't there.
pre-Avengers
Honestly.
Hawkeye.
Yeah. So he went and he's playing with his kid. He's like having like fun with his family. He goes to grab something. He turns around. His family's gone.
Yeah.
He starts freaking out. So then the 5 years lapse, and you realize later on. We'll get to that in just a second. But so we have them all together,
Right.
and they're pretty much all out of hope. Right? Everyone's out of hope.
It's
Captain
all
America
damage
comes.
control
Well, yeah.
And yeah, it's literally just damage control. They're talking about stuff. One thing I really loved that I'm going to hold on to this forever. You guys can argue with me or not. There is a mention. You have 5 people on the screen. You have Okoye, who's currently leading Wakanda.
Yeah.
You have Captain Marvel, who's currently out in space running shit. Like,
Right.
you know,
Space
the Green
patrol
Lantern
stuff.
Corps, essentially.
Right.
You have
She's
War
an absentee
Machine,
father.
who is with Rocket Raccoon, seeming to be...
Not. He wasn't with Rocket. He was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Right, he was
He
in
was the
Mexico.
one who brings up Ronin.
He's chasing down
Yeah,
Hawkeye
he's chasing down
for
Hawkeye.
Natasha.
Right.
Rocket
'Cause
was with Nebula.
Rocket was with Nebula.
Rocket was a Nebula, yeah.
somewhere else.
Doing Guardian stuff.
Yeah, doing
Right. So
other
you
space
have
shit.
like a council meeting with Natasha there, and they're all in their little holograms, like pretty much checking in, like, hey, this is what's going on in space. Here's what's going on in Mexico. Here's what's going on in the over here. And Okoye makes a mention of earthquakes in the ocean. Now, for me personally, this was fucking huge because
Because it's an earthquake.
shut up, shut up, you asshole. No, this is huge because there's only one character that we know in Marvel, and like if you're a comic fan, there's more. Obviously, you know you have a bunch of like characters who are in the water, but
Fish McGee.
shut up.
Juggernaut
There's
swimmer.
swimming juggernaut. No, but
Submariner.
Shark?
we have a mention of what could possibly be Namor the Submariner. If you know Marvel Comics, you know in the last 10 years even, the beef between Namor the Submariner and Black Panther has grown like exponentially. They've had it out on numerous occasions. Like Namor's attacked Wakanda successfully. He's flooded Wakanda successfully. Black Panther has taken Wakanda like to Namor to like, yo, we're going to Atlantis to come give you wreck because I'm tired of your shit.
Hey, yo.
He's actually tired
This
of
ain't
his
got nothing to do with
underwear.
Endgame.
Right, but anyway,
Yeah,
it was
you
a
said-
very small thing where Okoye says we do not mess with the ocean. Essentially, I can't remember her exact words, but they asked,
Yeah.
Natasha's like, what's our take on that? She's like,
That
it's
ain't my
the
business.
ocean. We
Yeah.
don't mess with the ocean.
Let
And
it
I
be.
think that's because Namor and Black Panther already have beef. And they just haven't talked about that. They
Namor
have
run around
off-screen
in fucking
beef
Speedos.
because they can bring that in because we don't know who Namor is or anything about him. So they could introduce Namor in 3 years and then just put in his story at some point that they have their beef. and that's why she mentions him. So that was big for me. But essentially, you had them, reporting in, and then they all spread off. Another quick thing that I really enjoyed, they touched on what could possibly be a potential relationship for War Machine and Captain Marvel. Because for those of you who don't know, they're together in the comics. And there's this whole big talk how Brie Larson wants like a lesbian love interest or whatever. Cool, but like you have your actual love interest right here. So I don't know.
I found it on Pornhub.
Shut up. But yeah, so from there we have
that's kind of the beginning of the beginning, but we're
right.
yeah.
That's like the beginning
so
of everything.
You said they've been in despair for 5 years.
Right.
Bro, what's the change for that?
Right. So as soon as everyone breaks off, Captain America comes in and he's like, "Hey, how's everything holding up?" He's pretty much trying to console Natasha because he can see how stressed out she is. And
yeah, her hair's fucked up.
She crying like
Fucking
Keeb at the end of
sandwiches.
Avengers Endgame.
we're gonna edit that out. So at that point they're talking and Cap's trying to do what Cap does. I keep telling people that we need to move on. He's like, but I'm having trouble moving on. Boom. Obviously, you literally lost half the universe.
Captain America.
I know. I feel like a good Captain America boy. I feel like Loki at that one scene.
I think you're a patriot.
So out of nowhere, we get this scene where we have a rat crawling in this RV. It walks over something and sniffs it and presses a button in the process. Enter Scott Lang. So 5 years later, Scott Lang gets pulled out of the quantum realm finally. Because for those of you who didn't watch our review on Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Losers.
One, you're bums because our
that.
review was lit. That movie was great. I don't care what any.
YouTube.com/foodchain origins. Watch it there.
Plugs.
So, plug stamped. So at that point, now we have Scott Lang in the fray. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. You see him pretty much learning as things go, then he's knocking on the door out front. They're like, "What the hell is that?" And then Captain America, he knows who Scott Lang is from Civil War. If you all remember the airport scene.
Yeah, because he helped his ass get away.
Exactly.
Real quick side note of all that. That scene with when he met up with his daughter was actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah, I will agree. I think that was like a big...
to the point where you was like, I've never seen him acting like this from Paul Rudd before.
Yeah, that was great acting from
I will say I didn't care about it up until that scene.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
because remember when he was going
Heartless.
through the monuments?
Yeah.
He was like, please. Like, that looked trash to me.
Yeah.
To me, that looked like
I'm just talking about him finally seeing his daughter.
Please.
He said that looks like trash.
Not the whole thing, but just him seeing his daughter again. I was like,
that part was
damn.
great.
Yeah, that was great.
You was like, Paul Rudd can act.
I was like, yo.
About time you finally understood.
He really looked shook it.
Yeah, he was. He was a little
really
shook
happy
it, but jump a little bit past there.
Yeah, so
but back to you.
They're back.
So he does reunite with his daughter. We find out that Paul Rudd has his daughter. So he didn't lose everything per se. But he did lose Hope. He did lose Hank. He did lose Janet because we saw them disappear at the end of Ant-Man vs. Wasp. But he comes in and Captain America's like, "Oh, this has to be a pre-recording. There's no way that's fucking Ant-Man. He's been gone for 5 years." And it's not. Natasha's like, "Bro, that's like right out."
Also, they believe that Ant-Man is gone. They believe he was dusted.
Yeah, his
name. Because he got trapped.
His own name in the monument of people. Because they built all these they built these pillars and memorials of all the names that were lost on Earth. Right. And he found his instead of his daughter's.
Which you should know about.
So
if
he
y'all
was
seen
shook.
it.
He was like, "What the hell?"
I wish they should know about if they seen it.
Yeah, if you saw it, you would know about all that. But he comes in, they go, and they're like, "Oh shit!" So he comes in and he learns about everything. They explain to him everything that happened. So he's like, "Oh damn, this is crazy." But look, I was in the quantum realm for like 5 hours for real, and then they're like,
"Nigga, what?
5 hours?"
Yeah, they was like, "Man, it's been a whole 5 years
He's
out
like,
here."
"See, but it wasn't for real because I've only been there for 5 hours." So he's like, "Maybe if we can fuck with that, we could possibly change everything and bring everybody back." And they're like, "Oh shit, time travel." He's like, "I'm not trying to say time travel." He's like, "You trying to say time travel?"
And
He's
he was
"Damn,
like, "Yeah,
I am
trying to say time travel, but
they can't do this time travel thing without one man."
Tony Stark! They need somebody who is capable of understanding the mechanics behind something that technical. So they said, "Who's the smartest mind on Earth?"
Tony Stark!
They go straight to Tony Stark.
Big
now,
T.
what I loved that I feel like wasn't as much as I wanted personally, but I was stressing to the food chain over and over again for like an entire year. If when Cap and Tony reunite, it's not insanely emotional, I was gonna be pissed. Because nobody realized, well, not a lot of people realized, these two characters haven't seen each other since Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he knew about his parents getting killed.
Yeah.
That would piss me off,
But he did call him in Infinity
And
War.
then you jump me
Yes, he
because
did.
your
He
boy,
did.
correction,
I
you
meant
jump
they
me because
call
your
him.
Iron Man did call
boyfriend
him.
killed
Mark
my
Ruffalo
parents.
called him.
No, remember he was like, "I got the phone," and then he was like,
He went, and then
Yo.
that's when when
Yeah.
Ebony Maw and them were outside.
Yeah.
He didn't get a chance.
But
to
he
call
was
him.
going to. Is
He
what I'm
was.
saying.
He was. He was absolutely going to.
Which means he was
tried to
already
be hesitant.
the beef was already planned to be squashed at that point.
I don't know so much about squash.
Yo,
but
the
he knew
beef
he
was gonna
needed
be
his help.
squashed, and he was making a patty, my nigga.
Look, if
Patty.
if I don't like
Patty,
you,
Patty.
but
You don't.
Smiz is beating me up, and I'm like, damn, I need somebody's help, and the only person in here is G.
I'm gonna hit you.
Smiz, I need your help. Or
I'm gonna
G,
hit you with the
I need your help.
word. Click, and I'm on his lead.
And maybe he would
Run.
have called Steve Steve, and he would have been like, Tony, I'm so thankful, you know. How are you?
Yeah.
He's like, I still fucking hit you, and then he just drops it and goes outside.
He actually did.
Damn.
He really kind of did.
But yes,
He was like,
we
fuck
see
you
him
niggas and our
drop
kids. I'm
like
out.
he puts the phone down, and then later on, after the Ebony Maw and Black Dwarf get beat up, we see the Bruce Banner grab it, so he goes to call
Not
Cap.
Black Dwarf.
I'm sorry.
Call
What is it?
Obsidian.
Call Obsidian. Anyway,
And this dude.
so
For real.
they reunite, and there's like this really cool scene where Robert Downey Jr. like acts like insane almost.
Can we like give
was
a,
not
Can
insane.
we give an ovation? Because that
It
was
was not
some
insane.
acting I
That
saw out
was
him.
like probably
He
the
was
best
not
performance I've
insane,
seen
though.
from Robert.
Nah.
Downey.
Like-
I think you're mixing
Now,
up the
hold
two
up.
scenes.
What do you mean?
Are you mixing up
That's
the
when
scene
he
where
got
he's
back
like,
with, Captain
that's
Marvel.
when he gets back with Nebula.
Yeah,
Where
I'm
he's
talking
acting
about
crazy.
Yeah.
yeah, where they're talking.
He's
and-
not really
and-
He
acting
wasn't like
He's
crazy
just-
though.
Yeah,
he
he's
was
just like,
he was
y'all
straight-
niggas lie.
No,
Yeah, like nigga,
he was
no.
shook, bro. He
Yeah.
was shook. He was scared.
Yeah.
He was 100% scared. But
He
he
was
like,
emaciated.
He was like
For
going,
real.
like he was like acting crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I can't think of the word, but he was like
When,
acting up.
when a grown
Yeah, he
man
was like
He was
wilding
does
out.
this,
hysterical. He was
Yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah.
dude, when a grown man does this and his hands look like that, like he's got cerebral palsy and all arthritis,
I'm not,
that nigga's
he was
going
kinda
through
crazy.
some
He almost offed himself in front of them.
How?
When he just
you know
When he
that
pulled out the,
doesn't
IV.
affect
yeah,
you,
but that's
right?
just like, but that's still symbolism. Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Well,
yo,
no, he was
he's
just
not in
like,
the right
he
state of
pulled out
mind.
the-
Yeet, and then he pulled it up and was
What
like,
kind of threw me off was like the fact that
Swoosh.
he did that was like he it was crazy to me because he like gave up Iron Man.
Yeah.
He said
yeah.
he was like, Tony, you fought him. He's like, excuse me?
I didn't
Yeah.
fight him.
No, he wiped my he
wiped the floor
He
with
hit me
us.
with a planet and wiped the floor
Yeah.
with us.
Stabbed me
Yeah.
with my own shit.
Yeah, he was
He's
like
Iron Man
he's
now.
Like, he's like, there's no fight. He's
Yeah.
like, and like it, like bro, it blew my shit because he was like, you put that on when you see him and you hide.
yeah.
I was like, yo, he has Tony that shook.
For real.
Like he broke Tony's mind.
Who else
Bruh.
but Thanos?
Fuck them niggas.
Grimace, look, Grimace said, "Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm taking it."
Hey yo, I actually didn't expect that. But anyway, so the first act of the movie is pretty much the reuniting of everybody, the Avengers coming back together. They finally have hope again with Scott, and they go to Iron Man
Scott
to ask
doesn't
him.
know.
You see Iron Man come out 5 years later. He lives in a cabin now. He lives like
Yeah.
off the river or like off the
He's
lake.
probably like, well, he's
Shit,
most
you
likely in
got
like
to
upper
stop
New
the
York.
Yeah, he pretty much embodied like what you see Clint's life is like.
Yeah, he's
He
chilling.
pretty much has like the same life as Clint, like a little cabin. He has Pepper, and we find out he now has a daughter who's anywhere from 4 to 5 years
Little
old.
adorable little
like
girl.
daughter. She has to be 5, 4 or
Yeah, she's
5
like 5.
because I mean,
Yeah, that's what I
5 years
said.
content.
She was like
she's
the
at
most
least 4 or 5
precious
years
thing
old.
ever.
I don't know
Yeah,
about
she-
that.
That means
shit.
he probably got
Did
some
you see Peter
meat,
Parker?
and then he was in the meat, if you know what I'm saying.
He's
Oh,
like,
he was
everyone
deep in the
died,
meat.
so I'm about to
Yeah.
start creating.
For real,
But
he was a
Gotta
tragedy,
repopulate
baby.
the planet, bro.
But in any case, you
That's a real
see
thing.
Tony
God.
lucked up. Like of all the scenarios, Tony's scenario was nothing but like benefited. If I hate to say it, but it was benefited by the snap because he kept Pepper. You know, she didn't disappear with the snap. He now has a daughter, and he has his family. He's beginning to find happiness again. And next thing you know,
He was actually
here comes
sleeping.
seriously. Here comes the Avengers. Like, hey yo, Tony.
We gonna fuck it up.
We
And
might,
then Tony's
we might
like,
have time
"Ah,
travel,
damn."
buddy.
Right. So they meet, they explain to him their whole idea, and he tells them straight up, he's like, I'm not with that, man. Like, that's too fucking
I got
dangerous.
too much to lose
I have
now."
a kid now. I have a kid. And I'm sorry. None of y'all niggas who died is more important than my kid.
For real.
Not even Peter Parker, apparently.
Psych.
But he did offer them lunch if they did.
But he did
talk
offer them
shop.
lunch. But if he didn't talk shop.
But I mean, in the end, Peter Parker is the
Is
reason,
the reason
help.
he does.
Yeah.
And absolutely. And you see, they leave disappointed, and then Tony goes in, he's with his family, and he figures it out.
While with his
conscious.
daughter.
He, like, figures
Start
it out while
fucking
messing with
with
it. He actually didn't know she was there.
No.
She, like, snuck
yeah,
downstairs.
remember? Because he's like,
Yeah. He was like,
Shit.
shit.
Don't tell your mom.
And she's like, "Say."
Here's
but
some
the thing
dessert.
is, they couldn't figure out how to get back. Like they could go into the quantum realm, they
Because
could go back to that
they went
time.
and found the Hulk.
Yeah,
They went and found Bruce Banner because they were like,
Professor Hulk
he's
was
the
BB
second
Boopin',
strongest
and
mind,
he
if
ain't
not
straight.
the
well,
next
no, they
strongest
went
mind.
after,
No.
right? Yeah,
They
went
went
after
after
him.
Tony said
As soon as
yeah,
they left
or-
Tony.
Tony said
Then
no.
with the professor.
So, Tony's discussing it with Pepper. He figures it out. but
A1
he's still
Day 1,
home.
by the way, Pepper.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
Then
Hell
they
yeah, you see
go
them
they go
cakes?
find Bruce Banner, and you see Bruce Banner has, within the 5 years, has made peace with the Hawk and is now Professor Hawk. He has...
They compromised.
Right. Now, he has the Hawk persona and his own persona mixed, and that's why he looks like
Yeah.
Banner more.
Technically, it's also confirmed that he's just as strong as Hulk.
He just don't know how to tap into
Like,
it.
he's
He
just
ain't
as strong
use that shit at
technically.
all.
Well, the
Yeah.
problem is the Hawk himself wasn't very strong in the MCU to
True.
begin with. Like, he's
Yeah.
strong, but he's not.
They
what
had
we're
the
used to.
potential to get there, but they never went that route.
Now, on one thing that we do a lot in our videos is that we do a lot of drawback to comics, but it's pretty much confirmed. Like I was telling you earlier,
Yeah.
this movie series, like this MCU, is its own continuity. So, like at this point, all you fans out there, including myself, we got to stop bringing up comics because we're just gonna do nothing but piss ourselves off. You know what I mean? So,
I like pissing off other people.
but they go find Banner. Banner helps him out. The problem is there's tweaks that Banner can't figure out. For instance, they send Scott back to see if they can pull him back. He comes
He
out a
peed
baby.
himself.
He comes back an old man. He comes
peed
back
himself.
a kid. He pissed
and
himself.
peed himself.
And
And he peed himself.
Which
then we find out
one?
that what happened?
He peed himself, but which one?
No one knows which Scott Lang actually peed himself. It could have been any of the 4 that came back. But they figure it out because Tony comes and he's like, "Hey man, I figured it out. I'm the shit. And if we can figure out a safe way to do everything,
Yeah.
If I don't have
Hit-
to lose everything that I've gained.
Yeah, his
sure.
ultimatum is essentially like, look, I'm with bringing everyone back, but we're not making it so it never happens.
Right.
He's
Because
being
I have a
greedy.
family now,
Yeah.
You're not
and
getting
I
rid of
can't
my baby
lose these
girl.
people.
He's like, I only want to gain. I don't
He
want to
can't
lose.
lose
this.
Pepper. He
Yeah.
can't lose his daughter. But he
But-
sees Peter in the picture, and he realizes like I
He
I
wants
was
to
a picture
smash
in
on
his
I
ice
need
some
that
more.
kid back.
Yeah,
man.
He had
yeah.
a
I need
picture
him
of
back.
Peter behind the cookies in his kitchen.
Yeah,
Fuck
Yeah.
with him.
between the fine china.
Between the
Yeah.
fine china and the
Yeah.
wall. But anyway, so
That's kind of the start of the
that
journey.
to me that
Yes.
finishes Act 1.
Yes.
Yeah,
Act
it
1
kinda
was the
is.
pulling together.
Yeah.
Act 2 was
Act
the
2
search.
is the act of
Time
them getting
travel.
all the quantum stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Them actually going back in time.
And then Thanos coming.
And then that when they get back, when they get the stones and they get back, and spoiler alert, even though we already addressed it, they snap and bring everyone back. That's the beginning of Act 3.
The fight!
The
I
fight.
agree. So if we go over Act 2 real quick, any
We got
any
Well, yeah,
specifics?
We got Fat Thor now.
Let's think of
Well,
at the end of Act 1 they also pull together Thor.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
you find
right.
out Thor has gone into a depressing alcoholism state.
Yeah.
where
Not
he's-
depressing alcoholism. He's depressed. He was already an alcoholic.
True.
True,
So now he's a
technically.
depressed alcoholic.
You don't get
So
I'm
it.
speaking up for
he's
alcoholics
literally-
around the world.
He's literally
Don't get
been
an opinion on
eating.
this.
He's literally been eating and drinking the entire time.
playing
Even
Fortnite.
Valkyrie says in their new
master.
Asgard, they see him once a month, only when he comes down to get more kegs of beer.
Yeah.
Which
That's
I don't
it.
see a problem with.
Which
He has the boy with him though.
Right there.
going to Act 2 with the quantum time travel.
Think of everything we saw between the time travel journey.
I-
What are your likes and dislikes?
Well, I'm gonna put my favorite scene 100% out of the time travel is absolutely the Howard Stark scene.
I love
That
that
was
scene.
in the scene. Well, they go back to Avengers 1 era, but then they mess that up.
Oh, yeah, they
and then
fucked
Loki
that up.
escapes. But we'll get to that in like a future movie, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Apparently not.
Splash
maybe
and
not.
look.
It would
Apparently
be
they-
its own
they-
timeline,
they-
technically.
they tried to say he
Yeah.
put the Tesseract back before that, so that never happened.
True,
Hear
that's
me out.
true.
Hear me
Yeah.
out. Hear me out.
But they're real confusing with
But
their
technically,
idea
that
of
would just
time.
create another timeline.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they're so confusing with how they
Yeah.
with how they're saying time travel works. But continue.
Yeah.
Continue the Howard.
But
Stark
yeah, we
scene.
go, and then they fail. Cap manages to get the Mind Stone.
But Tony fails.
But Tony
to get
and
the
Scott
Space
were
Stone.
trying to get the Space Stone. But they fail on the Space Stone. So,
Because Hulk
because
kicked
of Hulk.
his ass.
Yeah, Hulk fucking
accident.
busts his
Yeah.
shit.
Literally
And-
at the end of Avengers 1.
My Hulk.
They go down the elevator.
Not Professor Hulk.
And they tell Hulk to take the stairs. And you see this because they go back in
Hulk
time and talk
don't
about it.
like
Yeah,
stairs.
it's literally the scene where
Yeah.
Avengers 1 ends.
Yeah,
kinda.
100%.
Yeah, and it's like, we see Hulk, he's going down the stairs. Old, like, present time Tony is working on getting the Tesseract.
Him and Ant-Man.
Him and, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
But And everything does go to plan. They get the
Everything
Tesseract.
goes
Everything
to
works.
plan, they just didn't expect the
They
Hulk.
have a plan to give past Tony like a little cardiac attack.
Like
So they can swipe it and it works. But then as it works, Hulk busts through the stair door and like knocks present Tony.
Nah, nigga
like,
got hit with a
around.
whole
Tony,
door.
Right.
yeah, Tony gets hit with like a whole door as well as like the Hulk's like forearm.
Yeah.
So he gets like
He's hit.
smacked across the
Yeah.
room, and then the Tesseract flies open. Loki grabs it and takes
And then
off.
So yeah, long story short, they fail.
They fail.
Thus,
completely.
Tony comes up with the plan to go even farther back to the 70s,
Where Captain America
To get him
where
both.
won.
where both the Tesseract,
Yeah.
it's after one technically,
Yeah.
but the Tesseract
yeah.
and more Pym particles are present.
Yes.
Because this would be a one-way trip if they
Because-
couldn't get Pym particles
hear
to
me
come
out.
back.
Now,
Before
one
you
thing we didn't
continue,
mention:
hold
the,
up,
Two birds, one
the,
stone.
Right.
the Pym particles are their energy source to getting back and forth through time.
Yeah.
Now,
And
just
because
to
Hank's
blow
dead,
your shit, right?
they don't have any more.
Yeah.
If you think about how many Pym particles were there when you saw the scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Freeze frame. And the 4 he took, that's why they only had so many. So by doing this already in a roundabout way, if they hadn't had to go back, this timeline they're actually actively in would have never happened. You feel what I'm saying? Because they would have had more. If they never went back to take those extra 4, they would have had the exact amount of Pym particles that they needed, even more so in this timeline if it did happen the way it did.
Oh,
So,
you
this
mean-
was supposed to happen.
You mean like if they had gone back in time and got more Pym particles?
No, if they had went back in time and they had gotten the Tesseract with Infinity War, the first, not Infinity War, yeah, Infinity
You mean
War.
like and they've gotten the Tesseract without failing?
Yes, without
Okay.
failing.
Yeah.
Then that timeline wouldn't have been the same timeline that they were running right now. Because when you, if
True.
you remember when they went and got all the suits set up, it's
Yeah.
like, we only have enough for this many, then Scott fucked
Yeah.
up and wasted one.
Yeah.
They
True.
had to have those 4, so they had to
True.
grab them shits.
Yeah.
So this was supposed to happen for
Right.
this timeline.
Yeah. Plus, if them going back in time again would make it so they had no more Pym particles to go back in the future.
Yes.
So they had to like come up with a place where both the Tesseract,
And the
aka the Space Stone, and the Pym particles
exist at
Were
the same
in,
time.
like, the
are at
same
the same
area.
spot at the same time, and they go back to an army base in the 70s where Cap's plan goal is to get the Pym particles and Tony's to get the Space Stone. Where Tony does go, they both succeed. Tony goes and gets the Space Stone. However, he runs into his father, Howard.
Which is huge because if you watch like the Iron Man like movies, you know him and his father's relationship was real rocky.
Yeah, it's a big rocky relationship, and they use future movies to kind of make Howard Stark a better person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Because in the early movies, he's like, oh, this dude's like a straight dick. Like, he
Yeah.
sent me off to boarding school. He didn't care about me, all this.
Well, you know what I liked?
What?
In this movie, they tried to say like once he found out that his wife was pregnant, he started like thinking differently.
Yeah.
So it sort of makes it seem like he was a dick up until Tony was born.
It was just like he's
This is
a
the thing,
dick,
there's
but it
difference.
was like for a
Yeah.
purpose.
I won't say he was a dick up until he was born.
Yeah.
He was Tony before Tony was born. He was a playboy.
Yeah, he was Tony.
Then when he
Right,
had
right,
Tony,
right.
when Tony was born,
He changed
he
his
was a
life.
different father.
Yeah.
But as an older man,
Yeah.
he was the dick. The
Yeah.
dick that Tony needed to
He's
become
like, he
Tony.
literally was like, I wish I had a daughter because I don't want my son to be like me.
He was
Exactly.
That's
he was the
literally
dick
what
he
he
needed,
said.
not the one he
And he ended up
deserved.
just
Yeah,
like-
Exactly.
yeah, and then he ended up
He
just
was
like
that
him.
big old veiny penis instead
Yeah.
of like
And that-
double
and
dong.
That's
John.
why he said at the end, he said, "Don't
Robotics.
worry, it's all gonna work
Yeah,
out."
and
Because
he's-
he was
and-
like, "I wish I had a daughter." He's like, "Don't worry, even though
Yeah.
like I end up like you, it works out great."
Yeah, I just think it was a really like good scene.
it was
Very
it was
wholesome.
pretty.
Pretty,
I felt like
great,
it was
that's a great
needed.
word,
Honestly,
wholesome.
it was
Like,
a very wholesome scene.
Nothing
Yeah.
against that scene. I know it's like a smaller tidbit to all of Act 2, but I feel between Bruce or Banner Hulk or Professor Hulk, whatever people want to call him, and the Sorcerer Supreme,
Okay.
that I feel was probably the most.
Oh, that was a good
integral
scene too.
That's
to
my favorite
the whole
flashback
movie.
scene.
Because it kind of
Explain
is.
the multiverse.
Yeah, it explains the timeline
And what she
situation. I agree
understood.
100% with
Now,
that.
granted, I know we're not going into comics, but let me leave that alone. Then, when she understood exactly why he was
Instant-
there and who sent him,
Instant resolve.
it was like, oh shit,
What I
here,
love-
take the stone. Like that simple fact is that she understands what Doctor Strange was actually doing.
It was like an instant connection. She was like,
Yeah.
wait,
And
Yeah.
it's crazy because like for me, it like I felt so stupid because when if you remember like their first like couple sentences to each other, he's like, "I'm actually here for that."
Yeah.
No, he was like I'm looking for Doctor Strange. she's like, Stephen Strange is performing surgery about like 5 blocks
Yeah.
that way.
And she already knows
And she's
who
like-
he's supposed to be.
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
like, you're 5 years too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, that makes of course she knows. Because she
Yeah.
has the time stone.
Yeah, of
She's
course she
seen
knows
everything.
And
Only
I
thing she
didn't
hadn't
peep
seen
that, bro.
is her own
Yeah.
death. Past her own death, that's what she doesn't see. That's why that scene, I'm like, yo, you understand what's going on.
Yeah,
She was
didn't
like,
know.
I fucked up.
Because
So
at first she
Yeah.
was like,
I
did
fucked
I
up.
make a mistake?
Yeah.
And then he's like, he gave it up on
He
purpose.
was like, why'd he give it to me? She
And
was
then he was
like,
like-
because he didn't make a mistake.
Yeah, he was like, that was it. Like, that was the only way.
I don't know why, but her having that instant connection, just like,
It hit me, yo.
yeah, I was like, yo,
She's so lit.
I was like,
bro.
you're
She's
the
so
sorcerer
fucking lit.
supreme for a
Like,
reason,
For real,
bro.
she
I
was
love
like-
the ancient.
I was like, ooh.
seeing like her little role in that movie
Was
so lit.
It was
Yeah.
it made or break
Yeah.
the rest of
It's
the
what you
timeline
need.
for.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, that scene, you learn about the timelines.
Where else do we go?
And after that, only other place is the Thor Dark World.
Asgard.
Which, in my opinion, is the weakest one, but it's more characterized
It was
for
more
Thor.
for Thor.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
we
so
also
you
we also
know
get
what
the
I
Soul Stone
learned?
again, too.
That
Oh, we
Rocket's
do
a
get the
G.
Soul Stone, too.
True, but you know what I learned?
Yeah.
Because to me, that's like the weakest. In my
Yeah,
personal
in
opinion.
my
True, that
personal
one is
But
actually.
the reason that scene took as long as it did is because the Russo brothers said they knew 100% people didn't care about Dark World. So they had to
Yeah.
refresh Dark World for
real.
people who haven't watched Dark
Yeah.
World in
That's
like
why he
5
had
years.
the Big Lebowski moment where he's trying to explain everything and they can't shut him up.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that
He
they
was
can
like,
get that out.
this was no
Hey,
favor.
right. I
That
watched
was
Dark
actually
World
funny.
once. And I was like, yeah, never.
I didn't watch all of Dark World.
I
don't know
haven't seen
about that
Dark
shit.
World
I
since I
enjoyed
saw
it.
it in theaters.
I
Fuck
like,
y'all, I loved it. It was hilarious.
Well,
But
babe, I mean,
stupid.
that scene
I
really
respect
only
you for that.
plays, to get Thor out of his bag so he's back in his real mode.
the biggest callback from that scene is one, Thor gets to talk to his mom before she dies.
Right.
And he even tries to like save her. He's like, "Mom, look, like this is what's about to happen." And she shuts him up. She's like, "Son, like if I'm gonna die today, like cool. This is my future. Go save your own future. Like my future's written already.
Right.
Don't worry about me. I'm just happy to see you." And I thought that was lit because I'm like, damn, that's like a true mom moment.
Yeah.
We're
Like, I
missing
like that
out.
part.
We're missing out on one major portion of Act 2.
What part?
Nebula.
No, I was going to get to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We're
But-
I'm just going through all the main.
Yeah.
I will say,
But I actually have a big beef with this scene.
with
And-
what the
With
Thor scene?
Nebula. With the Nebula scene.
I-
Hold on,
too.
give me 1 second.
Okay.
We can get that in
I
just a
do
second.
too.
Now, the last thing we get out of the Thor scene, aside from the closure with his mother, he gets Mjolnir back. And for Thor, it's huge because of what Mjolnir meant to him. And with him being so depressed for so long, he needed that spark of hope to reignite the Thor that we all know.
Give it a
so
second.
he does the whole give it a second scene, and then him and Rocket dash out of there.
Yeah, they roll.
And now he has
I'm gonna
Mjolnir,
say
and you
dash.
see
More
he's
like
so
a
much
zip.
happier because he almost tears up. He's smiling so hard
'Cause he's still worthy.
because he believes he's worthy. After
Yeah,
after failing to save everyone 5 years ago, he truly thought he wasn't worthy anymore.
Self-worth is
So
huge,
that's crazy.
bro.
So
I gotta believe in
I
yourself.
enjoyed that much of his flashback. I do
Yeah.
believe a lot of it was unnecessary, but at the same
That's
time,
because
I
you're
don't
a
think
monster.
I don't think it was all the way lost. You know
I
what
will
I mean?
say it was
No,
unnecessary,
absolutely.
but it did have one of my favorite comedic parts when Rocky was going for the stone. He's like,
He was like,
Yeah, with his little extractor. He's like,
that shit was funny.
When
I
your
was
bro was
dying.
running from the Asgardian
He was like, I got
bars,
it, Thor,
Yeah.
Thor, I got it.
Bro, we gotta go. We
For
gotta
real.
go.
He's like,
he's like, shape up.
You must
Yeah.
be mom. So now we're done with that part.
Yeah.
So
Transition.
we finished like the 3 main
Spoiler,
missions.
Don
of the-
Cheadle was the boss, didn't get fucked up. So.
Absolutely.
it's true. We cut to Nebula,
Yes.
which is Don Cheadle. I better call him Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
War Machine and Nebula go back to Guardians of the Galaxy one time, and they're there to get the Power Stone, but they all go back with Hawkeye and Black Widow, but they go
Right.
to get the Soul Stone. Oops, nigga, you dead.
Nebula didn't
I-
say anything about switcheroo, dickhead.
But
No.
my beef with this scene. Don Cheadle, I call him fucking Don Cheadle. Don
War
Cheadle
Machine.
and
Nebula.
Nebula succeed. They get the Power Stone like easy as shit. Like there's no problem at all. And but now you might not know exactly what I'm talking about here. I feel like I told one of you. I don't know. When they go back in time or forward in time, I guess, to the present. Nebula starts glitching up and she's like, "Whoa!" and she's like stuck.
Yeah.
And then she sees a vision that Thanos knows are there because Thanos finds out through past Nebula
Yeah.
that they're collecting the stones.
When they come back in time, it doesn't really make sense to me, but for some reason, because
They're still
she's
linked.
Nebula,
They're on the
they're
same-
like,
It's
technology.
It's essentially on the same Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I was like that.
Yeah.
Because
Me
they
personally,
joined
I hate
Wi-Fi
that.
connections.
Really?
I
Old
hated
Nebula
that.
I was
knew
fine. That makes sense to me.
everything
It makes
from
sense,
the
but at the
past
same time,
Well,
five
this is
it's
the
years.
thing.
a
Like,
loophole.
if any of the other, like, if they were dealing with the X-Men universe, you'd have the because they did time travel in X-Men, and the same telepaths had a connection. Like when I forget which comic it was. Xavier was in the same time frame as past Xavier, and they literally knew each other's thoughts. So I understand where they're going with that.
Well, to me, that's a little different because they're time.
Well, this one, this was more. I think it was because literally it was as if you have the data from one computer, and then you just bring it back to the old computer.
Yeah. It's like
they're the same computer.
It's like you put all your shit on a floppy
disk.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But my beef with it is that Nebula flips out. She's like, Thanos knows, I gotta go tell Black Widow and them. And I'm like, why though?
Why didn't you just go back to the
Why
future?
not just go back? There's nothing keeping you here. And sure, if Thanos does know,
how's he gonna get
Thanos doesn't know where the Soul Stone is already. So Hawkeye and Black Widow are fine. They fine.
Well, wait a minute. Time out. Hold up.
The only way he was gonna know is Gamora actually unzipped her lips.
He should. The only way Thanos would have known would have been from future Nebula, because she knew where the Soul Stone came from.
Yeah.
So basically, it depends on how much of her
network
they took.
Yeah, she knew where the Soul Stone was.
So I can understand that.
But that's not the beef. It's that she stays essentially to get captured by Thanos.
Yeah.
If she would have just rolled to the present,
and
Thanos would have never been able to capture her. Nebula would have never been able to slip in, and it wouldn't have changed anything.
In her defense,
because even if Thanos
does at that point yet though.
But even if Thanos
she know how much information they had. You know.
You. The only thing I can think about, because I was gonna say, you know what I've been thinking, is when you go into the past, right?
Right.
You see Nebula's conviction to please Thanos.
Yeah.
When we're in our current timeline, right?
Yeah.
You see Nebula's fear of Thanos. Do you remember back when Captain Marvel was like, "I'm gonna go do recon." When they go to fucking jump Thanos.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm gonna go, recon." There's a scene where Captain Marvel comes back to the ship to tell everyone there's no like ground defenses, no armies, no nothing. He's just by himself, and Nebula is like shaking in her chair, and she's like, "And that's enough." Like. She truly is in such fear of her father that she understands
as
him by himself could annihilate everyone who was on that ship.
No, I feel that, but that doesn't matter.
To me,
and it doesn't matter because if she went into the present,
there would have been no Thanos.
Thanos wouldn't have ever came to the present.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And even if Thanos learned, it would have been a whole nother timeline that didn't even fucking affect them.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm trying to say, like, if I can give her the benefit of the doubt, maybe her fear just consumed her.
Maybe.
That's all I can think of.
Maybe, but even
so, that's all I can think of. That's what I said.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I will give him that.
And then I was like, okay, you're back up now. Why don't you just activate it again?
No, that's the thing, though. She wasn't frozen in fear. They froze her They froze her body.
Yeah.
Thanos has been doing that shit to her for years.
No, yeah, they froze her body, but then she's fine.
No, he's talking about when she ran back to the telephone.
Yeah, and then she's like,
and she was like, Clint,
like
Thanos knows.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Thanos knows.
And then she's like, whoa, and then it's like, they capture a little spaceship, and I'm like, hey, get the fuck out! What the fuck?
Amount of time, like the window of opportunity was like your fucking glass door.
Yeah, go.
You know what I mean? Like go.
Whether Thanos knows, because he doesn't know where the Soul Stone is. Gamora had no intention of telling him where the Soul Stone was.
Really, he only knew where the power gem was because he saw her flashback.
Yeah, exactly. Like no intention. Thanos is still stumped.
Yeah.
And if she would have just been gone, and then
the
Soul Stone situation would have happened. And everything would have been fine.
Right.
And Thanos would have never came to the present.
The worst part is this is like Thanos' biggest supporter. Like,
this is my number one biggest beef with the whole movie.
Suicide.
Is that
Squad?
It wouldn't even have had to happen if Nebula wasn't like, yo,
Thanos knows, bro.
Yo, for real, like,
if
it's
you didn't know,
unnecessary.
he knows.
It's just
if you
unnecessary.
didn't know, he do.
But
help,
all with the Soul Stone stuff, where we get the big character death.
Yeah.
A Black Widow.
Yeah, so
honestly, I'm kind of glad it was Black Widow because
she just meant nothing.
I like Clint.
At first,
I'm sorry.
I was like, "Oh, make it Hawkeye."
Because
but then it was like, "Oh, it's permanent." And I was like, "Oh, don't make it Hawkeye."
Yeah.
Like right when they were like, "Oh, this is like permanent," I was like, "Oh,
you can't undo
see a Black Widow," but like, he got a whole fam.
Yeah.
Like,
he literally has a whole family.
Not even a whole
he had that
family
family before he was an Avenger.
Exactly.
This is my reason why I didn't want it to be Clint. Clint isn't
a real one.
Well, that too. But he isn't a romantic interest for anybody in the squad.
Yeah.
She was a
Black
romantic
Widow been
interest for
fucking
Mark
everybody.
Ruffalo.
You're not
She
wrong.
fucked Cap. She fucked Hulk.
She probably fucked Tony for real.
She damn sure fucked Tony. She's fucked
Damn, that's crazy.
Nick.
She was. Yeah.
Nick Fury didn't been on that, but come on, it's Sam Jackson.
Yo,
He been in
That's
that movie.
BBC, bro.
You
That's key.
right.
That's
Nothing
that's
against
key.
her,
You
but
right.
unless she gets her own movie,
BBC.
and I hope it's like a prequel movie,
It will definitely.
she needs to be done.
Yeah.
Because like
It's definitely gonna be a
moving
prequel.
forward,
Yeah.
you can't do anything else with her.
But
They've tapped her out.
They're probably gonna touch on Budapest. I guarantee that whole movie's gonna be about her and his adventure through fucking Budapest.
Yeah,
You know
probably.
the funniest part
You know
is?
what I didn't like about the movie, and
What?
and it was in that scene
What?
when they were talking about the whole "Oh, don't you get soft on me." It made it seem like a real romantic vibe from me,
But they was fucking
and they're
before.
like. And like it bothered me because I'm like, it seems like this would be the type of conversation they'd be having had they been secretly in love the entire time.
They are.
That's no,
Dude,
but
they are.
it's the
But like, I
problem.
believe it, but I don't because he's been married.
That's
for so
the
long.
problem with the
It was before,
different directors.
before he had a family.
Because in Avengers 1,
They was fucking.
they build it up like they're like in love.
Him and
and-
Natasha.
Yeah, Natasha.
And then in
And then
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, they're like, nah, he's had a family like this
That's
whole
true.
time.
That's
I get
that's
And
that,
then
but
they
when he was
put
a
in, like, the
spy
Hulk
the
thing.
whole time, like doing the assassin shit.
Oh, he
He's the
probably
one that
hit.
brought her in. He hit a lot.
Yeah, he probably
Yo, he
did.
was
I
hitting
can't
on the
deny,
regular.
but like
Why do you think
that's
they're cool?
been gone at this point.
You
So,
ain't cool
like,
with a chick
you
like
know.
that unless you fucking.
Yeah, he got a fam for a while now.
Right.
So,
But
with,
anyway, so
with all that saying, now all the stones were the missions for the stones have been
Yes.
tackled, but now we have the return of the big purple grimace.
Wait,
yeah, so they send them all to get the stones. They come
Right.
back. We all have the stones now. Clint comes back without Natasha. Everyone's like, "Yo, where's Natasha?" Oh, she's gone, bro.
That was
Yeah.
a moment.
She-
That was another moment.
She's gone. And like,
Saddest
you
death
really
in the
know
movie.
how important she was to the team, considering how everyone reacted. Tony was shook. Kat was shook. Thor was literally getting angry, talking about, "What do you mean she's gone? We had the stones.
Yeah.
Like,
I
like,
mean,
we
she
can bring her
kind of
back."
held the team together in the 5 years.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
absolutely.
Sol-
And like
solely.
Thor even said he said we're the goddamn Avengers. Pull it together. We're gonna get her
yeah,
back.
it was like we have the stones, we can bring everyone
yeah,
back,
like he
and
was
then they're
getting
like,
irritated like that, and like
Yeah.
it just shows you how much she meant to each person.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they
then-
reveal if it's
No.
a soul stone,
You
there's
can't
nothing you
bring
can
it
do.
back.
The
You can't bring
situation
her
is
back
moved.
because it's the soul stone.
Yeah.
You
And
And
traded
that's
her
why we
soul.
don't have old Gamora back.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
So-
it's gone.
Yeah, so they get all the stones together. They build, Iron Man and Bruce Banner build this, an Iron Man
Gauntlet.
glove.
Dope.
that's
I want it.
plate that
All
takes place as like the
nanotechnology.
new gauntlet.
3D printer, you can do
It's
it.
all the nanotech
True.
and possibly vibranium. We still don't know if Tony's suit was vibranium.
I don't
or
know
not.
if it's any
I
vibranium
don't
because
think it was.
I don't think he could
Well,
get
this is
to
the
it.
thing.
Yeah.
They're not getting vibranium from Wakanda because they're not giving it up.
Yeah, they're not. They didn't
Well, we
give
don't
him any
know that.
vibranium.
No,
And see,
they're
that's
not
the
giving
thing.
it up.
They don't make a point of bringing it up.
No,
And
That's
not
what I
giving
will
it
say.
up.
Well, all right.
Them niggas ain't giving it up.
So we have them build the new gauntlet. And they're all wondering who's gonna wear it to bring
Yeah.
everyone
Who's
back.
gonna
And Thor's
snippety
like,
snap?
I got this. Like, I'm a god. I got this. I need this.
Yo,
like,
he's
I
begging.
failed once. Like, I need this. Let me do
Yeah.
something right now. Tony's like, bro, relax. You're still this alcoholism road. I still need you 100% before I can,
Yeah, 'cause
put
he's
you in
drunk
the
as
field.
fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. So then they're trying to figure out who's gonna wear it, and Bruce Banner comes to the conclusion,
Gayest moment in the movie.
as we've been, messing with this thing, 90% of the energy is like gamma. And he was like, it's like I was made for this or something. And I'm like,
That
Because
was
that is
not no
kinda like
Hulk
how he
shit. That was
sounds, man.
stupid.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
And
it was
to me,
dumb.
it was dumb because it was like a very poor scapegoat to
I
make
want
the
him to do
Hulk
that one more
important.
time.
Because you already fucked up his story so much in the past.
Yeah.
You made him a role player instead of his own character.
Yeah.
And it bothered me because he has his origin movie with Edward Norton. You
Right.
Like,
Well,
yeah, it's
they're
not
getting away from that 'cause they
it's not
didn't
Mark
keep it.
Ruffalo, but you can't say I'm
It's
pulling
still
away
Hulk.
from that when that movie is
It's
still
canon.
canonically part of the MCU.
Yeah, it is
You know what I
canon.
mean?
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, it's
he
a
never got a
different
sequel.
It's like Terrence
He just
Howard
got put in
non-sequel
everybody
now.
else's
True.
movie.
That-
So you kind of shitted on his whole character.
But that's
development.
also with the rights to it. That's why they're doing it.
But
They don't
how
have
does
the- yes,
how does
and the
that
full rights to the
destroy
Hulk.
his character development though?
Because you don't get to have what he would have been. You don't get Hulk villains. You don't get anything the
Oh,
Hulk would
yeah,
have accomplished on
absolutely.
his own. You don't even see him cope with himself.
Oh, no, I
You just jump 5 years. Okay, I'm cool now.
Yeah, I
You know what
understand that, but
so
like
for him
I
to
don't
say
know.
I was built for this.
Oh,
I'm
you
like,
just mean that line?
like that
yeah.
line specifically was choppy
Okay,
and
I
corny.
was
There's
like,
no
that
proper
that line should have
development
never
of
been.
Hulk.
Like-
I would have preferred him say I'm the only one strong enough for this.
yeah,
Like I can handle.
he
this.
can handle again,
Nah,
which is what it.
But see,
I
hold
was
up.
built
I'm
for
glad
this.
he didn't
So
say
you're
that.
so you're telling me the accident just.
I
glad
think it
he
was
didn't
just
say
like
that.
a,
Gauntlet
I
ended
think
the
it
whole
was
time.
going.
I'm
too
glad he didn't
deep.
say
just
that
Marvel
because this this is a
comedy.
different Hulk
Yeah, it is.
from Infinity War 1, from Civil War, from all the other Avengers
Lame, they're on
movies.
the other couch.
Yeah, no.
The other,
They're on
like
the
the other
special
ones,
couch.
you damn straight.
You almost had him say the other couch. Shut up.
He's not the strong Hulk. He's the smart
definitely
Hulk.
not. He's definitely not.
I mean, he's still Hulk, but he's
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
strong Hulk.
But
Well, he's never been that strong. Let's be real.
honestly,
MCU Hulk has not been that strong. Thanos pieced him up.
I'm mad
Thanos,
because you're right.
Thanos is that boy.
So
but
he's
we
gone.
we had the Hulk take the gauntlet, and he's feeling all this power. He's like, God damn, this is a lot of power.
Yeah,
so
he can
they're
barely- he can't even really handle it.
We're literally just everyone who disappeared in Infinity War. We're just bringing them back. Nothing else.
Yeah.
we
We
want them
literally
back
just
to
came back.
today. So he goes. "Ah, ah," and then everything snaps.
I also want to cut this to show you that just how savage Thanos is. Hulk couldn't even like put that John on.
No.
Like he put the Infinity Gauntlet on, and that John was like
He dropped to one
immediately.
knee.
Yeah, it immediately started like crisping him up like bacon, looked like a cow.
Yeah,
Gamma
bro.
bacon.
When
Gamma
freaking
bacon.
Thanos put that thing on, he was
Get
just
some
like,
chocolate.
He's like, damn, this is looking
and
good
then,
for a
like,
Friday night.
He was chilling with it. That was the strongest motherfucking MCU. You can't.
So
He
you
ain't
know,
fucked
he brings
Galactus,
everybody
though,
back.
but you right.
And it's a great scene because you had this scene where Scott Lang,
Thank
he
you.
walks over after all the shields have been lifted so that he can see outside, and like there's birds chirping, it's sunny outside. Like, you feel the universe is back in one piece. And as that all goes on,
Hawkeye's wife starts calling
like
him
literally
on the phone.
like 5 seconds after the snap, Hawkeye gets a phone call, and it's his wife.
That's a great scene too.
And
Yeah.
that was like some of the best
That-
acting I've
yeah,
seen from him.
That was a great scene.
Because all he did was say honey.
Yeah, he was
But- he's like, honey.
Yeah, it was. that
But
was
just
good.
as all that's going on,
Yeah.
Nebula does
Nebula's
what?
like, oh, I'm in the mix because I'm not really Nebula. I'm the past Nebula that saw evil because I came back and she didn't, and I got her shit on my head, so I look like her. And I'm
She also
That's
got
like
it. You
straight
forgot
like
about the glove,
Stevie
bro.
Wonder.
forgot about the gloves, so now she takes the glove off because the real Nebula, her shit's all fucked up. The old Nebula isn't, so she takes the glove off. She's like,
She's like, I got a not fucked up hand, and she's like,
Then she's like
you.
doing all this shit. She brings not just Thanos.
This
She
scene
brings
is
this
funny
nigga's
as shit.
entire ship.
Yo.
And if you know Thanos, you know his warship is
roll
his
with a
fleet.
squad.
He has no fleet. His ship is
Yeah.
his fleet.
It
His
breaks
fleet
off into donuts
breaks
and
off
drops
from his
niggas.
ship, bro. Like, that's wild to me.
yeah,
So,
Sanctuary 2, bro. It's that.
Sanctuary
real.
2 comes up, bro. And it gets shoots into the sky.
Bro, it's scary.
And nobody peeps it because it just busts out of the building.
Yeah.
And everyone's so shook at the fact that people are back.
Wait a minute, they also put on the blast doors. They put
No,
on the
no,
blast
this
doors.
was after the blast doors came up.
Nah, he put on the blast doors because of the gauntlet.
No, absolutely. And then afterwards, the blast doors come up because that's when you see Scott Lang looking outside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
you're right,
then
And then,
a fucking
Out of
missile just shoots, bro.
a missile, multiple
Well,
missiles.
the first one came towards
I
Scott.
thought that boy
He
Scott Lang was
blasted the shit
I
dead
thought
out
as
he
shit.
was chopped, bro. I thought he
Yo.
was done.
Yeah.
But he goes
Dude.
into his small mode because in his small mode
Yeah.
he's like a lot stronger.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was
And-
like, okay.
Adam.
And then
he's
from
like
that moment on,
dodging
it just set the tone of
Yeah.
how we're about to
That's
start
Act three.
feeling for the
That
rest.
is-
Act
that begins Act
Act
3.
three.
I
That
think
was
Act 3
that
starts
was
with
your
the-
heart sinking
Look,
for the rest
I'm gonna
of the movie.
put it on
Your
the
heart,
table.
nigga, I
This
was
is my
just angry.
opinion. Act 3 is masterpiece level Marvel
Yes!
Cinematic Universe.
That is-
because of Doctor Strange.
it's
and
masterpiece
only Doctor
level.
Strange.
If the whole movie had the energy that Act 3 had, this might have been the greatest movie I've ever seen.
It would have been
Yo.
more devastating than Infinity
I can't
War
lie.
was.
Like Act 3 of Endgame
Soul crushing.
kind of like changed the game for
Honestly.
like
Yeah.
anything.
Like, you thought Infinity War put you through fear? Act 3's from the get
Look,
go.
I'ma
You was like,
start-
ah, shit.
I'm gonna start you off
What's
with
the first thing that
Alright.
comes to your mind after this?
first thing that comes to my mind right after that explosion.
Who did?
is nigga Thanos sitting in the middle of the battle.
He walked
So,
over. It was like,
not only was that one missile, like Hungry Patient said, he fired. He lit them
Yeah,
niggas up.
he
bro.
tore up the
Destroyed.
He
entire
destroyed
Avengers
the
base.
entire Avengers base.
Everything.
Flattened that entire piece of land. There was probably like
Flattened.
acres
He
and
made a
acres
crater.
and acres
Yeah.
of
Like,
just
hold
a
on.
crater.
They were all in a crater. Everyone
Yeah.
was underground.
Yeah, freaking the Hulk, War Machine, and Rocket are drowning.
were underneath everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only reason they're not
Ant-Man-
dead is Hulk.
yeah.
Seriously, because
Ant-Man is like-
he was holding everything up with one
Yeah,
hand.
Ant-Man's like, I got y'all, just like
Give me a
survive.
minute. He was like,
You
give
know
me a
what pissed me
minute.
off about that scene though?
What?
The fact that Hawkeye wasn't dead.
Yeah, well,
If you
Hawkeye
see
landed
it-
somewhere else.
Yeah, but did you see how far he fell?
True.
Let's be honest. He's the only human.
Bro.
Hold up, time out. Give
He-
it this though.
He had cheat codes activated.
Thank you.
How do you think he went through that whole thing with infinity arrows? He had cheat codes activated.
Yo,
How do
like,
you think that he survived and Black Widow
He
survived
actually only
through
used
all
5
of
arrows
Marvel
that whole-
movies?
Yeah,
Like
he really
the
did not use
MCU,
that many
He
arrows.
threw 1 to see everything.
Yeah.
Then he stuck 3 to the top. Or to the
Bruh.
top and the sides. It blew up. And then as he went up, which he used for 1 arrow, as he's going up, he had the Ronin sword.
Yeah, and he was
Bruh,
just like,
no,
And then that was it.
Bruh. He got the arrows from Tony. They're nano arrows. Nano.
So Hawkeye survived. All right, everyone survived. Nobody died just yet from the initial explosion.
Yeah.
Everyone found a way to survive. Whether it been Tony's shield helping. Who was he in front of? No, he was in front of Hawkeye. And then they both
Yeah.
flew and Hawkeye fell.
That's why
Yeah.
Tony was buried under some rubble. Cat.
Thor is the only one who Thor's already up.
Yo,
Yeah.
Thor
Like
put
Thor
people
is like
behind himself.
Like he's because Thanos is in the middle of the battlefield chilling. He's just like,
He's
I
just
want the
looking at him.
smoke.
He's
I
like,
want
nah,
all
let's
the
do
fucking
this.
smoke you all got.
So
and
there's
Thor's
this
like,
funny
fade,
meme
nigga.
that-
I'm gonna give you the smoke.
I'm waiting for my niggas.
There's this funny ass meme, bro, where it says there's not a realer villain than Cell because Cell not only built the ring for niggas, but he stood there and waited
Yeah,
a
I've
week
seen
for them
that
to run his
before.
fade, right?
Right.
Thanos
This
saw
nigga
that meme and
Thanos
was like, let's do it.
annihilated like a piece of land, sat in the center, and waited for them niggas to come.
No,
run
Yo,
his
not
fade.
only did he
real.
sit in the center, he put his sword down.
He put his sword
He
down.
put his
Put
helmet
his
on,
sword.
my guy. Yo, he
I'm
said,
gonna
Very
wait
quick
here.
stretch. He
I
said,
want it.
He
Yeah,
said,
hold on.
go find me the. He looks at Nebula. He's like, you go find me the stones.
And what she
And
asked
she's
him?
like, and what will you do? He's like, wait.
I'm like,
I was like,
bruh.
why are you so savage?
Yo, for
The
real.
worst-
This isn't even the same Thanos that snapped. Like, this is Thanos like
Yeah.
5 years younger.
This
where he's
is
just a young
like,
boy.
I'm a fuck Ronin up, Thanos.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I would have loved to see that.
Like,
they didn't touch on that at all.
yeah.
He
The
was
worst
like,
part
he's
is-
like, I'm
'cause it hasn't
dispatching you to
happened
Ronin's ship
Yeah.
to go whoop his ass.
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna send Gamora and Nebula to go whoop Ronin's
Yeah,
ass.
like-
This Thanos was the Thanos I was expecting to see in Infinity War. A savage who's
Seriously.
gonna
Hold
make
up,
me
no.
hate him.
Time out. The reason why you didn't have that Thanos is because of the knowledge that he had from in Endgame. If they had never went back and he never got Nebula,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have got pissed.
Yeah.
This Thanos
He was
wanted
like-
to wipe out Earth.
Yeah, he was like, okay, yeah,
The old
y'all are
Thanos
trying to
just wanted
stop
to
my
do his
plan.
time.
Fuck
Well,
that.
yeah.
Well, see,
That was
he
it.
says it himself. Like in Infinity War, you can see, like when he's going
Totally
after Vision,
different Thanos.
he literally slow walks everyone.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
walks slowly, and as everyone comes towards him, he doesn't kill nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he-
literally.
Literally,
just
Hulkbuster
throwing
comes,
them off.
get away from me. I'm gonna put you in a wall.
Yeah, for
War
real.
Machine, I'm gonna crumple you up and toss you that way. You, I'm gonna punch. Get away from me.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious.
Black Panther, you're thinking you're going crack niggas.
Meow.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just keep walking. Then he goes to Wanda. When he gets to Wanda, he literally doesn't hurt her. He kind of just tosses her to
He
the
let
side.
her destroy the
he's
stone.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, little oneers.
Yeah,
He
he
let
her
destroys the
destroy the
stone.
Literally.
He's like, damn.
It's because Thanos is not on his kill. He's not on his
Yeah.
savage mode.
In this
He's
movie,
literally
he
chilling.
wasn't
In
Infinity-
Endgame,
Yeah.
He wasn't
in
pissed
Endgame,
off.
you see they piss
This is the Thanos that
He
you was
literally
expecting
says-
to
He
see.
literally says, like, when he finds everything out, Nebula goes, who's that? He was like, Avengers. Wretches. Like, he realizes, like, these guys are more annoying than I thought.
They're gonna keep
because
coming back.
he sees what happens to him in the future. He's like, okay, so they kill me after
Oh, yeah,
I
that
accomplish
was
my
my
Yeah.
issue.
He's tying up loose
Yeah.
ends.
So he's like, okay, fuck these niggas. Like, I'm actually done with these
Yeah.
guys. They're, like, pissing me off too much. So in this movie, we see
We see
there
the
is a
Mad
comic book.
Titan.
There's a comic book. It is probably one of Jam Shake's favorite comics runs of all time. It's called Thanos Wins. In one of the beginning panels, we see the Avengers fighting this man. He takes Iron Man by his arm and his leg and rips him in half.
Yo, it's
He's
bloody.
dead. He's
Yo,
dead.
Big bloody.
He kills Iron Man.
He
right?
snaps Cap's neck, and
He-
then that feeds him the Hulk. I'm not gonna
Seriously,
get into that
seriously.
right now.
We're not gonna
That
get into
was
that. But
great.
we just want you to know like,
That
how
was
savage he
great. That
was.
was savage.
Bro, there's
But-
a scene where Iron Man goes to fight him. He blocks Iron Man, grabs his hand, and goes to rip shit up until Thor saves him.
Bro, my heart stopped. Bro.
My
I
heart
said,
stopped.
chill. I wanted to tell everyone. The only thing I was saying for that last 45 minutes was like, nigga, chill. I was like, chill out.
Facts.
When
So,
I
boom.
say he wanted all the
Yo.
smoke, he wanted it all.
So the smoke clears,
He
right?
is smoke.
You see Iron Man getting up, and he's like, "Woo!" You know, his suit's all like, "Wee wee," doing the
Yeah.
R2D2 shit. So he goes to Captain America, who's laying down, and he kicks him. He's like, he's like, "Yep, wake up. You know, I need you, pal. Come on." So they get up and they walk out of the rubble to where Thanos is. They're like up like a little hill or something.
Yeah.
And Thanos is at the bottom.
Chilling.
Waiting for niggas to
Still
run his face.
sitting
Waiting
the
for
fuck
niggas to
down.
run his face.
Yeah.
He's looking directly at Thor because
He-
apparently
yo.
him and Thor been locked
Yeah,
eyes for like
Thor
5-10 minutes.
They've been straight
Yo,
gritting the whole time.
Thor was peeping him the whole time.
Yo,
He's
Thor
like,
was
he
the
gonna
only
do
He
shit,
got
though.
both his hammers and shit's like,
Thor
when
was
my
the
niggas
only
get
one,
here,
bro.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
He was the
but
only
not
one
yet.
who didn't like. He like wasn't in like any rubble.
Yeah, Thor,
He was sitting there like this.
Thor was literally
just staring at Thanos.
eyes
the
to
whole time.
Thanos is chilling.
So
He's
they walk
sitting,
out.
He ain't even peep. He's just got his helmet off. He's like,
Yup.
Facts. So they
Like,
walk
I'm
out
with it.
and they meet up with Thor, and they're asking him like, what's he doing? And then Thor's like, he's just sitting there.
Yup.
And then Cap's like, it's gonna be a trap, right? If we go down there. And he was like,
sparks in his eyes.
and Thor was like,
yup.
Thor
Let's
was
go.
like, yup. And then Iron Man was like, I really don't care. And then he was like, Thor, bro, when Iron Man said, yeah, but I don't care, and like Captain America nodded, and Thor was like,
Game
"Yo,
on."
I'm glad we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
That set off one of the toughest scenes bro,
Yeah.
if you thought the Thor entry in Infinity War was hot,
Honestly,
bro,
you were
this
wrong.
scene was one of the toughest scenes I've ever seen.
Even with a fat Thor.
you know what I love?
3v1.
It wasn't a
still-
trap. Thanos
No.
just wanted the smoke.
Facts.
Like, it wasn't
there was
Thanos
no
was
trap
like
at all.
right
He said,
here,
I don't give a
nigga.
fuck
Like,
about none of y'all.
yo,
It
for
was
real.
Fight Friday and he
But-
had his gloves on. He was
As
waiting.
anyone who knows me personally, there's many things I like. My favorite thing that Thor ever does is dual wield two hammers. And then the nigga dual wields two hammers in this fucking movie,
Yeah.
bro. I
His
was
eyes
done
light up.
like,
You hear the thunder start coming.
Yeah.
Thanos looks up
Bro,
like,
he was
oh,
throwing
okay.
Thanos
thunder
is like,
And then he goes like
Where's the
this with
smoke?
both of his hands out, and you just see Mjolnir come here, Stormbreaker comes here. He has like this whole new fresh cut,
Yeah,
bro. Like
for real.
that shit was wild. Iron Man puts his armor on, Captain America like suits up, and they start gunning for Thanos, bro.
Yeah.
They come for Thanos, and this nigga Thanos is just
He said,
Thanos
"Fuck
don't
all
give a
y'all."
fuck.
And
bro.
here's the worst part of my front. I was like, he's dual wielding and they're all working together. I was like, there's no way
Yeah.
this is going to be a
Now,
problem.
this
Yeah,
kind of
he's
was
a
this.
problem.
Infinity War set the precedent that Stormbreaker was an issue,
Yeah.
but the Russo brothers did say, given if like Thor didn't sneak Thanos,
right.
the Stormbreaker would have been shit.
Yeah.
And this purpose and this
They
clears that
proved
shit
that
up
shit.
because Thanos was piecing all three of these people at the same time.
The
Don't
first-
get me wrong, they were
Iron
getting
Man-
licks.
Iron
They
Man
were getting
came in,
hits.
But they
I-
were still getting
I,
peace.
I wouldn't
Iron
say
Man
they
came
was
in with
winning.
the first
Nah.
mitt, bro. Iron Man threw a punch as hard as he could. Thanos blocked it, punched that nigga like
Yeah.
3 feet away, started fighting fucking Thor because he knew Thor was the real issue.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, oh, okay, boom.
He was like, clack, clack.
So Thor starts coming and fighting, and no, I'm 100% lying. That doesn't even happen. Iron Man shoots at that nigga like I'm running your fucking
No,
face,
Yeah.
it
bro.
still happened.
Thor,
It's just not
or
in that
fucking,
order.
Thanos
Shit.
blocks, grabs, and goes to do that fucking stretch that
Nah,
I just told y'all
you're
about.
forgetting the scene where fucking Iron Man charges Thor up and then he shoots the lightning at him
That was
and then
after,
Thanos
bro.
hit him with the and then fucking bending that
Yeah.
shit away. I said, chill, nigga, what are you
Bro,
doing,
there was so
bro?
much.
Like,
There's so
get
much
outta
happening in
here.
that one
Like,
fight, bro. Like
Let's
just
Iron
put it
Man
this way.
almost died,
That
and like
fight-
immediately,
Yo,
Thanos
for
almost
real.
ripped him in half.
Like,
and then Thor
everybody
chucked
almost
Mjolnir at him.
died.
And he blocked him with Iron Man, yo.
Yeah.
He said he and
No,
then like
you know what I
tossed
think
him.
it was?
He threw
I
him
think
like-
into everybody.
I thought he was gonna rip Iron Man, and Thor hit Iron Man purposely
Oh,
to
that,
knock him
yeah,
out
to
of his
knock
grip.
him like out of his
Because,
hands.
let's be
Okay.
honest, do you
I
really
could see
think-
something like that.
Dude,
Like, do you think
Up
if Thanos
until-
saw Thor like Mjolnir coming, he would have probably just like ate it, like
Maybe,
smacked
yeah,
it away or
yeah,
something?
Up
so I
until
could- I
Thanos
could
was
see
about
something
to
like
Because
that.
it hits
No.
Iron Man's shoulder.
Yeah, and he
Up
just like
until
tossed him out.
Thanos was about to axe Thor with Stormbreaker, Cap was literally like getting smacked off like he wasn't even there.
Yeah,
Which
'cause-
should have happened.
I mean,
Exactly.
if Thanos
If
is
we're being
handling
honest.
Thor, Cap ain't doing shit.
Yeah,
With
no,
all
literally,
due
like
respect.
maybe Iron Man
But
has
at
a chance,
that
but
point-
normal
let's be real.
At
Yeah.
that point, what happened?
True.
Because
But
he took out Iron Man,
boom.
he took out Thor.
Iron Man's
Then what happens,
incapacitated.
Lou?
Iron Man's incapacitated. Thor's trying to kick
nah,
him on with this nigga.
fucking all right. Thanos got this thing on the ground, got his leg on the floor. Thor's like Stormbreaker. Thanos fucking peeps it, grips Stormbreaker out the sky, yo. Pip, nigga, and then he fucking rams this shit in. I was like, Thanos.
Shit.
Stop,
You
nigga!
literally
What
But
are you
who
doing?
saved him?
Like,
Going into
Who
his
saved
like-
him and how?
So then, right when fucking Thor is about
Dale.
to die, like Thor's trying his
Dale.
hardest to hold back this Stormbreaker
Yo.
cut into his
Yo,
chest.
Dale.
for real.
Then what happens?
My
Damn!
nigga Cap picks up Mjolnir.
He's worthy!
I was like,
You know what boosted my shit?
what?
Mjolnir, boom, hit him, right? And Thanos was like, ah, shit,
He said,
motherfucker.
you got me, you got that
And
one, you got that
then he
one.
calls it back, and Captain's like,
Yeah.
and then he's like,
But hold up.
okay. And then
Call
all you
back
hear
to
is,
Iron Man. Call back to
what you
was
talking
that?
about? Civil War?
Civil War.
I'm sorry, Age of Ultron.
Oh, you mean when he
where
lifts
he
up?
like
He
lifted it?
Yeah.
And
No,
that's
no,
where
no,
Thor
no,
is
no.
like,
Wait.
oh,
Back
wait,
to
what are you
Sonic
talking about?
Boom.
Oh, you mean when he fucking tossed the
Yes.
shield, then tossed
Yes.
Mjolnir, and it fucking bounced
It
in the
was
air?
ricocheting and hitting
Yeah,
the
I
shot.
was like,
Shockwave
nigga,
off
what?
this nigga's
Like-
back of his head.
But what about the flying Valkyrian?
That was awesome.
that was lit.
That she said.
Yeah, and then he summoned it down and brought it down.
That shit
Don't
was tough.
worry though, Thanos was fine.
But
Yeah,
hear
Thanos
me
was
out.
okay.
What boosted me is before that fight even happened, right? Thanos is piecing up Thor, about to kill Thor, and as soon as that happens and he gets hit by Mjolnir, Thor's like, I knew it. Thanos kicked this nigga in his fucking mitt down some cliff.
Yo, for real, it's quick as fuck.
He
too.
was like,
it was embarrassing.
bam!
Like
It was
for
shot.
real, you off camera.
I know,
He, like
seriously.
literally, it's like
That's
not
when
even.
Thor got kicked
It's
off
not
camera.
even a second. Thor's like, ha, I knew it, and then fucking like
Yeah.
kicked in the mid
He
instantly.
booted the shit out
Thanos
of
is
him.
like, all right, this nigga about to come
Yo,
out.
Thanos was on his Escanor
But I
shit. He
will
was
give it
like,
to
you
him.
knew that? Who decided that?
Yo.
Bro. I
What
give
a-
it to Cap, though.
What even
Without
happens after
Mjolnir,
that shit?
He was
So,
Then-
that's
but he
where
held
Cap
his
starts
own.
going.
Yeah,
He held
yeah.
his own for
Cap
you.
starts going in with Mjolnir. Dope
Yeah.
ass scene.
It was
Yeah.
no. Y'all know me. If y'all are FCTV fans, y'all know me 100%. I don't fucking care about Captain America. I built I just got like a like for Captain America at the end of Infinity War, and then in this movie, he goes the fuck in.
Yeah, they
like,
make it like
No,
like
but
good job, Captain.
But the niggas fighting Thanos.
yeah, sorry.
So you
You
gonna
ain't
lose.
taking dubs.
You
So
gonna
Thanos, what happens to Mjolnir? What
he
do you-
throws it.
He couldn't what's
Like
the
I forget how Mjolnir's like out of his hands.
what was it?
But I know
No, Thanos pieced the shit out of him. I think he dropped me on
did he just like drive? Cause I know
Yeah.
he started like using his helicopter blade
wanna
and
say
was just
he
banging
knocked-
at the shield,
I want to say
chipping
he
the
knocked
shield.
Mjolnir
Yeah,
away.
when that blade
Yeah,
started
he
just
died.
He started swiping
Wait,
at the
wait,
shield
wait, wait,
before
dude,
Cap could
dude.
like reach for it back.
Wait,
you know
wait,
what I
wait.
mean?
When that sword started destroying the shield, I was like, what the fuck is that sword made
Yeah.
out of?
Seriously.
I was like, I thought that was gonna be a not useful weapon,
Yeah,
and then
it's
start
straight-
piecing the
It
shield
literally,
up.
like, chopped,
Thanos
like,
straight like
a
cuts
third
half
of
the
it.
shield up.
Yeah,
like
it's like a third of the shield is just
literally,
sliced off.
and then boom, Thanos he's fucking people up, right?
And that's
He
when he
won.
went to his monologue.
Seriously, he
That's
won.
when he was talking
Yeah.
about
That's-
like, yo,
that's where you
I hate
find
the
out-
Thanos
Avengers,
wins.
Exactly.
take out
Does he
the
like
bad,
punch him
all that
away or
shit.
something like that? Bop, bop, and he's like, boom.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
like punches him away.
Yeah.
And then they're like, Thanos is like, you fuck nigga. And then
Yeah.
Captain America, like, that's when Thanos like summons his army. He's like, this is personal.
Yeah.
This is personal, people. He's like, before, I've conquered thousands of planets, all in the sake of, balance. But this one, I'm mad.
What,
Like, this
decimate your
planet is
planet.
personal.
He literally
I'm
says
gonna
like,
murder all
I'm
y'all.
gonna
told him,
take
I'ma
like
start
special
over.
pleasure in
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do
Yeah.
to this universe.
And then he summons his whole army.
My
Bro,
mind
the
was
Black
blown because I
Order,
didn't even think
the
about them
Chitauri,
all being
and the
alive.
Outriders
Yeah.
were all down.
Black
there, bro.
Order back,
My-
Chitauri back, the
fucking
freaking
Outriders were back.
My
All-
mind was blown because I was like, of course all of them are back too. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck was I not
All
even
of
thinking
them
about
were
that?
Because they
They were
came
all
from
in
the
the
past.
shit.
Yeah, and I didn't peep that. And then
Way
when we did that, I was
before
like,
Tony got a chance to destroy him.
all of them back.
oh my god,
Literally all
that
of
was
them.
fear.
The
And
thing
like,
is, like,
bro, Iron Man's
that's the thing about the
incapacitated.
chronology.
Thor was knocked out, and like Captain America was like struggling. Like he was
Literally.
like coughing up
Hammer
blood.
in half. Literally
Yeah,
in half.
the fucking
And,
shield. The fucking
and it's a
shield was in
great
half.
scene. It's a fucking amazing shot where he walks up on,
Yeah.
and it's literally Thanos and his all army. He walks up, and he's just like,
But then what happens,
And then-
Phil?
on your left.
Who
All-
saves
all you hear-
everybody?
all
Who
you hear-
saves everybody?
All you hear in his fucking mitt, right?
Shit.
You hear, Cat,
Bitches.
can you read me?
Yo.
And then, because Captain America,
Still got
what
the
we
headset.
think as comic fans, this is the scene where we would have thought Captain America gave Thanos that speech from Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where I thought it was going to happen. He was going to give his speech, one last hurrah, Avengers Assemble. That's
Yeah,
what
right.
that's what I thought it was going to be. But right when he goes to say something, that's where his earpiece goes off. And
I
then-
thought he was gonna say like, I could do this all day thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then literally it was like, Cap, you hear
But
me?
hold up. He already said that earlier in the movie. I don't
Yeah.
want to hear that
He
twice.
said it to his
True,
own
he
Captain
did. And then he
America.
was like,
Fucking
on your left. And I was
about
like,
that American
because when
ass
it
shit?
first started, I thought it was Tony. I thought Tony was like, you hear me,
Nah,
Cap?
Yeah, me too.
I didn't
recognized
peep it at
from
first.
jump.
And then when he said on your left, I
Falcon.
said, no! I was like,
And then
yo.
this is when ultimate despair turns to hope.
Yo.
This is where,
You know
like,
why?
as fans,
Because of
you're like,
Dr.
oh my
fucking
fucking
Strange.
god. So you see Doctor Strange's
Shit.
ring.
Not, yeah.
What?
All you see is the ring.
Just one at first.
And
Just
you're like,
one ring. And then you see 3 people walk through. From jump, you knew who all 3 of them were.
Yo, for
it's
real.
fucking Black Panther,
Viva
Shuri,
me!
and fucking
Yeah,
fucking
nigga.
It was,
who was the third one?
It was Okoye.
Yeah, Okoye went and got them.
Okoye came up, and all
it's
three of
Okoye,
them.
Black
And then
Panther,
his
and Shuri.
army behind
Then
him,
you
the
have the
Wakandan
whole
army.
Wakandan army.
Then a whole
behind
bunch
him
of portals behind that shit.
Facts. Then just portals. You
Portals
everywhere. Oprah
everywhere.
Winfrey, nigga. You get a
Like,
portal.
for
You get a
real.
portal. You get a portal.
Yo.
Hey, yo, Howard the Duck got a portal.
Yo, my
Yes.
man.
Nobody peeped Howard
Yo.
the Duck. Howard the Duck came through with a damn Tommy gun.
Ant-Man.
He was like, what?
Wasp, Hope, Janet, Hank, fucking, yo,
Doctor
Doctor Strange,
Strange,
Wong,
and
everybody.
Wong brought all of them.
When fucking the fucking Titan portal opened up
Yo.
and Doctor Strange flies through, and then you see fucking Drax, fucking Mantis punk ass,
Yo.
you see Peter Quill run through, and then you see fucking Spider-Man, bro.
Yo.
When Spider-Man landed
When-
and rose up, everybody knew
Yo.
what shit was.
Everybody
knew.
nutted.
That's where the whole
I
theater
know,
started
for
clapping,
real.
bro.
Nutted.
No,
Like,
I
if
did
they
not.
weren't clapping
They
at Black
did.
Panther, they were clapping
And
by
then
the time
something
fucking
nuts.
Spider-Man
Falcon,
got
you know,
there.
Falcons ride with him. Boom, real shit. Army, all the Avengers back, my nigga. Yo, I was like,
Pepper was in that piece.
and then Pepperland,
Pepper
I
with the
forgot.
fucking rescue
I've
outfit.
never been
Iron
hyped for
Maiden
Pepper
all
in
day.
my
Yeah.
whole life.
Pepper's
But
my
when
shit.
Pepper landed,
You
I
can't
was
tell
like,
me that
let's
fucking
fucking
back to
get
back
it.
with her and
Yeah.
Tony
My
was-
mom's
Relationship
was like,
goals.
let's fucking get it. I was
But
like,
hold
it's
up,
a
time
wrap.
out. Bro, when everybody came through and they panned back to Thanos, the look on his face was like, nigga, what?
Like,
For
can
real.
y'all
Like, he
just
legit
die?
was like-
Yeah, literally.
he was
that
annoyed.
was the
He was
first
straight
time.
annoyed.
That was the first time when Thanos was like, shit.
Yeah.
Like,
And
damn.
that legit,
Like,
like,
bro,
God
because
damn.
at first he sees the portals opening, right? And then he was like, okay, so he has some reinforcements. Like, you see it in his face. He
But
doesn't
he-
really
but
care.
he still got his
Ridge
army.
line.
So then you
The
see, like,
horizon was
everyone
full.
come. And then right before he says Avengers Assemble, when, like, you see, like, Iron
Everyone,
Man
like,
land
right
next
in-
to
yeah.
him, and then Thor brings,
brings
Stormbreaker,
Stormbreaker
and
mode,
then
yeah.
Cap grabs
brings
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir, yeah.
Right when he does that, before he says Avengers Assemble, you pan back over to Thanos real quick, and Thanos shows that, like, now I'm fucking irritated.
Yeah, now
He
he's like, damn.
He said, what the fuck was that?
For
like,
real,
That
like,
shouldn't have
sick
happened.
of this
Yeah,
shit.
straight
Like,
up.
only I'm allowed to have
He's
surprises.
He's like, bro, I had it. Bro, like, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Who are all these people?
Literally, he's like, yo, you're dead. I'm chilling. Like,
Not
stop,
that he
my
was
nigga.
having
Like,
a problem
Yeah.
taking out
And
the Avengers at that
he
point.
wasn't
But
scared.
now,
He
like,
wasn't
bro,
Nah,
really
he just-
shook
he
enough.
just saw
He
it.
was just like, damn, like, now it's an actual fight.
yeah,
Like, this
he
is
was
a
like,
fight
damn,
now.
now, like, I gotta do shit.
But you know what I loved about him?
What?
He goes,
His
Avengers, assemble. And everyone's like, ah. And then Thanos was like, solid.
fuck
Yeah,
him
and
up.
then pointed his shit. Yo,
He
for
points
real.
his shit.
I was
And
I'm like,
started
Corvus
charging
Glaive
himself.
and Black Dwarf were like, psh, solid, nigga.
yeah, for real.
Start
He's
dipping.
like, oh, word,
Not
oh,
only
God,
did he
no,
charge-
oh,
God,
God.
Thanos
Evan
ran
Ball
with
is
them.
like smiling with his hands behind his back lifted and like floating over to this
Yo,
like
for
scene,
real.
bro. And I'm like, yo, this is about to be fucking wicked, and it is.
Yo,
you
it's
have
dumb
the
lit.
side shot that
Everybody
you get
was
from
catching
Age of
it.
Ultron, where all the Avengers
Yeah, when
are going
everyone's
through the snow.
running at him.
You get that same shot, but
Just-
now it's a fucking militia.
Yo, it's an army,
It's
bro.
all the Avengers.
Like,
If I
every
remember correctly,
Avenger.
I think Peter was the first one to hit somebody.
Probably.
I
That
think
nigga went all the
yo,
stuff.
he
can't
just like
remember.
came in like, nigga, what?
Actually, nah, it was probably one of the flyers because they have the projectile.
I remember.
I feel like a
Yeah.
flyer. was his
Obviously, the
probably-
scenes that stick out to me. When fucking
But I know
Pepper
he
and
was in
Tony
the
are like, bam, bam,
Back
they
to back.
flying around each other. I was
Bro,
like,
that was hot as
nigga,
shit.
what?
Yeah.
Then fucking Star-Lord comes in, he's like shooting one.
Yeah.
They have their little Gamora scene.
Yeah, so Gamora comes back with Thanos, by the way. The 2014 Gamora, she comes back with
Yeah.
Nebula and Thanos.
And she
and
shot
the
her
army.
old sister.
Because, by that time, Gamora was still under Thanos. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
but she
her
was already trying
loyalty.
to not be.
But she
like,
already
Yeah.
knew there was
against him.
something wrong with
Yeah,
them.
Right.
she was already having her mixed feelings, but this is where she was still under him. So she came back too, but she's helping us now. Because in the
'Cause
little
she talked
scene,
with Nebula.
old Nebula tries to kill, who was it? Who did he try to kill?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, they're going for
because he has
Hawkeye.
the gauntlet.
Yeah.
So she tried to get the gauntlet
No,
and
it was
shoot him.
Nebula. It was Nebula who shot Nebula.
Yeah, Nebula
Yeah,
shot
well,
him.
no.
Nebula himself. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But Nebula, old Nebula, was about to kill Hawkeye because she had gotten the gauntlet from him,
Yeah.
and he didn't know that it was old Nebula. He thought it was the normal one. So then our Nebula, Gamora comes in. She's like, "Yo, chill. Like,
You know
yo,
your dad's fucked up.
I got the skip giddly. Like,
Yeah.
chill
And
out.
she's
I
like,
got the
you
grip
don't got,
skiddly."
and then Nebula walks in and she's like, you don't got to do that. And he was like,
Yeah.
he won't not let me
You
or
know,
some shit.
that's what pissed me off most
What?
about the movie. You know how the time travel thing fucked you up?
Yeah.
What blew my shit was you literally share a neural interface.
right?
You know that
Dang.
you survive. Whether he's done this shit to look at yourself.
Oh,
you
you
know
mean-
you survived.
okay, yeah,
and
for
she
real.
still was too scared to like
Yeah.
do anything.
This
That
is the
bothered me.
problem.
Because
The
Thanos
problem
also
is,
knew, though.
This is the thing. She didn't have the same experience as Future Nebula.
True. And she,
True.
she,
never went
she also
through-
thought
she
because
never went
Thanos
through the
knows her
betrayal.
Yeah, Thanos
that,
knows.
that, that y'all were gonna lose.
Yeah.
She didn't go through the betrayal that past Nebula
Right,
was
right,
about
right,
to go through.
right.
That's why
True,
there was
true.
a
Yeah.
difference.
So,
Like, there
yeah.
was
Our
a
Nebula
disconnect.
had like was able to get all that under her
Yeah.
belt. This one, like
She
the,
also
like,
made
the
peace
whole
with
plan
Gamora.
changed. Yeah, she
Yeah.
made peace with Gamora. But yo, So you have like a nice little thing with Gamora seeing Peter because Peter's fighting some people, and then
hit that
Gamora
nigga in the
saves him,
nuts.
right? And he's
She
like,
hit
"Oh my
that nigga in
god!"
the nuts.
Facts. He's like Gamora, because mind you, she was gone at the end of Infinity War, so he sees her, and she doesn't know him yet. This is before they meet each other, so he knows her, she doesn't know him. So he's like, "Oh my god, the love of my life, come here, baby," and she fucking knees him in his dick, and he's like, "Ah, shit." So then,
but for Nebula filled him in though, and she's like, "This is the one."
She's like,
and she's like,
"This is the one."
She's like, "You are a tree."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, it's him or some tree, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
At least we know she's not dendrophiliac.
Facts. Now, at that point, it's a small scene, but it was very wholesome. So, like, I definitely wanted to throw that out there. I'm glad you brought that up. I liked it.
I wouldn't call it wholesome, though.
Well, his balls wasn't whole, but that's okay.
You feel me?
That's okay.
It was a scene that definitely kind of sets up what's coming.
It was needed for real.
Yeah.
It was definitely needed because now
They're
you
all
have the
setting up
possibility of
other
like now
movies.
we're on the hunt for Gamora
Yeah.
because she doesn't know who I am. Now I got to refight for her love or whatever in the next movie. But so the scene that stuck out to me, bro.
Hit me.
After this, you have Hawkeye running. He's like, "Yo, what do you want me to do with the gauntlet?" Spider-Man gets the gauntlet.
It's literally the ultimate game of keep away at this point.
Well, Black Panther
Black
gets it
Panther
first.
gets the gauntlet.
Yes.
And at this point, I was kind of shook because I wasn't sure where Joe and Anthony were going with this. I thought T'Challa was going to use the gauntlet because
Which we have
he's,
seen.
He's using this in
at this point,
He already got his
at
other
this
movie
point,
coming. He ain't doing that shit.
I was like, I don't want none of my niggas using that joint.
No,
Like,
niggas
that
died.
thing killing people.
Facts.
I don't want nobody
It
using
fucked up
that.
Hulk.
But he
No.
takes that bitch like a football,
Yo, for
and this
real.
nigga just
Yeah, it was literally the ultimate game
Bo
of keep
Jackson
away
and
at this
fucking
point.
For real.
I
old
love.
ass Techno Bowl.
Yeah,
bro.
He
Fucking
said-
Bo Jackson and Techno
Yes.
Bowl, nigga.
Yeah.
For
You
real.
couldn't chase that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go all the
But
way around the
everybody
field and
was
come back.
touching
Ebony
him
Maw is
until-
the one who almost got it though, because
Because he has
And then-
The telekinetics.
telekinesis.
right when it-
so
right
right
when it
when he gets
happened.
cut, right?
Yo,
He chucks that shit up, yo, and Spider-Man takes it.
Zing!
And when Spider-Man tackles the John and like falls on the ground, he's like, "Activate insta-kill." And Spider-Man
The
just
fucking-
like
the-
slowly walking through
Bro.
all these Outriders while the
All
fucking
his legs
tendrils
came out,
are
killing
killing
people.
everything
Yo,
around
bro.
him.
Yeah.
And then eventually Spider-Man does get overrun, and he's like, "Oh, I need some help. I need some help." And then
Captain
Valkyrie.
America.
Was it?
Captain America throws
Yeah,
Mjolnir.
remember Captain
Yeah.
America's like,
He
he's
throws
like,
Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Queens, look up, and then
Yeah.
like heads up, and then he's like,
I did like that
Yeet!
callback too.
Yo.
like,
Yo,
That was a
he
good
did.
quick
He
callback to
said
Civil War.
Queens.
yeah.
He said, "Queens, heads up." He throws Mjolnir, so Peter now has a scapegoat. He webs Mjolnir,
And he's going for a
pulls
ride.
him. And he's just going for a fucking ride for a grip.
For real.
Mjolnir gets hit by something. I can't remember what hits like the
remember.
webbing.
Yeah.
Something cuts the webbing.
Yeah.
And
I
he's
can't
falling,
remember.
and then Rescue saves him and flies with him, and then she throws him onto Valkyrie. So he's just jumping around through
Yeah.
all the females.
Yeah.
For
What?
real.
And then
I will-
Valkyrie gets shot down by one of the
I think, yeah.
one of the many fucking Chitauri lasers. And he falls. And when he falls,
You,
went to-
no, I'm lying. As he's on his way, that's where Wanda comes out.
yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Wanda
As
jumps
all
down.
this is
And
happening,
this is
Thanos
the
is
scene.
again
That's
chilling.
when Wanda was
This is
kicking
chilling.
his ass.
Again, Thanos is chilling. Then Wanda drops out and she's pissed.
You killed my boyfriend.
She's
Yo, it
big
was so
pissed.
tough because she said,
Yo,
"You took
chowder.
everything."
Yo, and
from
Thanos
me.
is like,
He's like,
I
I
don't
don't even know
even
who you
know
are.
you,
He's
bro.
like, who you?
He
He's
said,
like,
"I
I
don't
don't
know
know
you
you,
just
bro.
came out.
He said, "New
Bro.
Thanos, who this?"
Yo, for real.
He said, "Who you, little
she
girl?"
goes, "You like you will, like
What?
you will know who I am,"
And
and
I-
then they start bucking at each
down,
other.
bro.
I
Even
thought that.
She's immediately
person
like,
in
nigga,
his
and then
Yeah.
like Thanos is like, kill all them niggas.
She starts
Yeah.
throwing some shit at him, and he's like, "Oh shit, I really can't
For
fight this
real.
girl." She
And then
picks
she
up two
picked
like
him
mini
up.
like craters, smacked it on him, and
And
then
she
he's like,
picked
"Damn!" Like
him up.
like he's trying to get her, and she grips him up,
Lifted this
and lifts
nigga.
this man, and he's like stretched out like this.
Yo, for real.
Bro, you start
She's
seeing
ripping
pieces,
off his armor.
Yeah, his armor is
and his
piecing
skin is
him.
Double
next, bro.
sword got fucked up.
Yo, for
She
real.
is savage. She was trying to mutilize him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
She was gonna carefully rip his armor off with her telekinesis, followed by his fucking skin, bro.
Yeah.
You saw that shit coming.
Literally, the only reason Thanos gets out is because he hits up he hits up Corvus,
Corvus Glaive.
and he's like, nigga, hit the
Hit
fucking
him with
deck,
the gas.
blow everybody
He was
up, my
like,
nigga.
he was like,
What about
he was
troops? What about troops?
Yo, like, yo,
Hit him with the
kill
gas.
these niggas.
Yeah.
What about our
He's
troops,
like,
though?
Messiah, our troops.
with
I
the
don't give a
gas.
fuck.
Yo,
Kill these niggas. I'm about
like,
to die, nigga.
yo.
Kill these niggas. So then Corvus Glaive was like, damn, fuck it. You know, Sire
That's where
said
all
what
the
Sire
lasers
said.
came out.
He activates this button, bro, and the fucking Sanctuary 2 just starts letting off every missile in the fucking
And
arsenal,
that's
bro.
when Valkyrie got hit out.
But
and
That's
when
where Valkyrie gets hit.
But this is also when your favorite character comes back.
Seriously.
Because Sanctuary 2 starts shooting off in the distance. They're like, who that?
Hold on though.
What?
You missed the biggest part. Because Sanctuary 2 was firing off, every one of our heroes was in a bad spot.
Yeah,
The missiles had
Except
Peter-
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So the movie did a great job taking out key players.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange did not fight at all. Like aside from maybe 10 people in the very beginning.
He summoned like a bunch of
literally-
tentacles, like slammed them. Yeah.
He pulled them into like the underworld.
Yeah, I was like, chill, okay, like, chill.
And then he like the missiles hit one of the things, and this big
It was
ass
like the edge of the crater.
yeah, it starts to leak all this water from like the ocean, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's gonna like flood the entire crater and kill everybody. So Doc Strange, and
he's literally
the
holding
whole
back the
duration of the
ocean.
fight, he's holding the ocean back.
Right. Yeah.
Like he has the ocean going in a fucking
Wall
tornado
seven
being held back.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Actually,
damn,
yes.
that's how you take out Doctor Strange.
Yeah, for real.
Bruce was stuck for a grip.
Wong popped up with a lot of the others from a lot of the other magicians.
Mm-hmm.
They were holding up portals
Yeah,
to
so
block
Wong,
down lasers.
Wong and
Yeah.
the sorcerers,
The
that-
most powerful
that were in New
people
York, they
are
were holding
active.
up. Facts.
Shit.
They were holding up like barriers to block the missiles
light
and stuff,
missiles,
and it was working. You know, the missiles couldn't get through the barriers. The barriers are too strong, which is cool.
Lasers.
So then after that, you have the scene with Wanda. The scene with Wanda that happens. Everybody's stuck in a bad spot, and then out of nowhere, all the rain stops, and everyone's like, "What the hell's going on?" And she's like, "They're targeting something else," and it points up into space, and all you see is missiles just getting shot into the clouds, and
Because
you're
who
like, "What
came
the fuck?"
through?
And then you see like the yellow light you see in the beginning of the movie, and it's fucking Captain Marvel, and she annihilates the Sanctuary 2, bro. Like, literally.
She did a good
I don't
job.
want to say that's all she's good
fucked
for.
that shit
It was a
but,
callback
like,
to...
That's all she's good for.
Her trademark is probably like destroying ships.
Yeah, it was
now.
a callback to her movie.
Because she annihilated Roman shit.
Yeah, she just flies right through Sanctuary 2. Sanctuary 2's done.
It just dropped, bro.
Yeah.
She's like, hi, man.
That shit dropped.
And this is when Thanos was like, come on, y'all.
And this is probably the moment
This
where I
is my
say
rock.
Thanos started feeling like he was losing.
Yeah, dead eye.
Because when the
100%.
Sanctuary 2 dropped in the ocean, bro, Thanos
He was like, he said,
Damn, nigga.
motherfucker, man.
I'm getting
he's
home.
just like, yo!
He's like, I gotta kill these niggas, bro. I'm definitely gonna
And
kill
then,
these
nah,
niggas.
but this is where it really gets scary.
Yes.
Because this is when Thanos is like
Savage.
on the gauntlet.
Savage.
Like, he's on the savage shit. He's
The whole time they're trying to get the gauntlet
Fucking-
minivan, so Pym.
at
can
the,
get
yeah,
it
they're
into
trying to
the
get,
quantum realm.
the goal is to take the stones back.
Yeah.
Like, that is the goal.
That's it.
But,
Yeah, so what happens is Peter has the gauntlet. Captain
Yeah.
Marvel saves everyone. She comes down to Peter. Hi, I'm Peter Parker. Hi, Peter Parker. You know,
whatever.
I need the gauntlet or whatever. He's like, I don't know how you're gonna get through all that.
Yeah.
And then you have the
She's like,
introduction
"Give
of
it
all
to
the
me,
women.
kid."
see, I
And
like
it's
the
like-
scene.
That was
Obviously,
a good
I
scene.
like it.
All the moms
I
of
liked
Marvel.
it. I liked it because we saw them come together.
Yeah, I like
And
it.
I thought it was like a cute little women's
Yeah,
Avengers.
it's
thing.
almost
Well,
like
this is my
don't
thing. I like
worry,
it.
new girl, we got you.
Yeah,
I kind of fuck with
and
that.
it was like everyone welcomed her in. Like
Yeah.
we don't know her, but she just saved us, and we're
Yeah.
gonna make sure.
Exactly.
She
The
gets the
reason
help she
I
needs.
liked it is because they didn't make it like, oh well, these are all that's left. Everybody else was still fighting.
Oh, yeah,
they
absolutely.
just took point.
Yeah.
What
That's
I liked,
what I liked.
What I liked was at first I was pissed when I saw it, and Jamshake will tell you because the way I looked at it was like, oh okay, this is foreshadowing how she's the leader of an all-female Avengers crew now, you know, whatever.
They
but
made the comment
what they
like that.
did instead was they like when I saw it the second and third time, I saw what you said. They more so made it seem like she's helping us, so now she has our respect.
Yeah.
We're not really gonna follow her, but we're gonna pave the way for her. Because if you
Right.
notice,
Oh, yeah.
she wasn't leading the front.
Yeah.
Nah.
Janet Van Dyne was leading the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they all rolled up in there. It was Janet, Rescue Scarlet, and
Yeah.
then Captain Marvel.
Now the goal
was to get the gauntlet,
the gauntlet
into the original
van,
fucking quantum bin.
so that it
Yes.
could go back in time, so Thanos couldn't get it.
Right.
However, Thanos ain't done with these niggas because he peeps the plan
fucked
and he
up
tosses his
everybody.
helicopter blade into the van and fucking destroys the time machine.
Yup.
Yeah, so the time machine's chalk. Captain Marvel gets
Done.
blown away because
Yeah.
of just all this.
And the
pure
gauntlet
energy.
goes fine.
The gauntlet goes
This
fine.
is where Iron Man and Thanos see the gauntlet. They're like, oh shit.
That shit made me
Yo,
laugh, bro.
for
because
real, like,
Thanos runs, grabs it, and Iron Man tackled his ass.
yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
dude,
He's
I was like, bro, I was
It was
like,
like a
bro.
straight up Boondocks moment.
And it was 100% a tackle. It was a straight up form
Yeah,
tackle.
for real.
That,
In
like,
that
that nigga
moment-
played college football.
Yo, for real.
It was a
that
form
moment,
tackle.
that was like the high sign for me. Like, yo, Tony's gonna die.
Like,
That right there.
Well,
I already knew.
What happened?
What?
Like,
Yeah.
well, okay,
Tony's
you see
like
they're
that.
fighting, boom. Then he bats Tony up. Captain
Yes.
Marvel comes back. He has a gauntlet at this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
He bats
Yes, he
Tony
does.
up. He's like, yeet. Like,
Yeah.
I got the gauntlet. Then,
But what's
right when
the
he's about to,
gauntlet
like,
made
do
of?
the
What was it?
snap,
Captain Marvel
Captain
tackled
Marvel
his ass.
grips his arm up, locks
Yeah.
his hands up. He's like, bitch.
So-
And then he's like,
Yeah.
He tries
yeet.
to well,
like,
he
Like,
tries to do
mega.
it like Captain America.
Yeah.
Like how he held Captain America
yeah,
down.
he does.
And then he
And it
cracked
wasn't
him.
working because
It
she's
wasn't
like, strong.
working.
He's like,
Yeah.
all right, then. And then
So
he
she
like,
starts fighting back, and then she does
And
this
she's
thing
like
where she
bending
rips
back
up
his
like this.
fingers and
Yeah,
She's
starts
shit.
literally
bending his
bending
hand
the
back.
gauntlet back.
Yeah.
He's like, ah, shit, yo, you're actually pretty fucking strong.
Paris
yeet.
Fuck you.
Nah, he headbutts her first.
Yeah.
Cause he's like,
That
yeah,
And then,
yeah.
and then it like doesn't
And
work.
then-
Yeah,
because
and then
just
she's like,
she was like,
and then
nah,
he's
fuck
like,
that.
all right, then, and he grips the Power Stone out the
Yo, it
gauntlet,
was- yo,
pulls that
knuckle.
shit out,
There
and
is-
cracks the fuck out of her,
It
bro.
was so
There is no,
strategic.
bro. There is no quicker, more efficient reaction time than Thanos. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that
it
That
was
nigga was like,
strategic
ah,
as hell.
bam, and
Yo,
he cracked their shit.
she's
with the fucking-
flying, she's gone. She's got
chalk.
about a Power
She is
Stone.
chalk.
It was a
Gone,
marvel
bro.
to behold.
Bro, and literally, he sits there and he puts it back in. And right when he puts it back in, as he's putting it back in, Tony's like, "Oh my fucking
Tony.
god,
Yeah.
we lost again." He has it again. So he looks over at Doc Strange. He's like, "Bro, what the fuck? You know, we were supposed to win." He's like, "Bro, this is our one chance." Now my dumbass thought he meant take one stone and he can't use it. But I was
Nah,
stupid because
fam.
he used it all Infinity War. That was a dumb thought of me. He was like, "Bro, like keep faith alive. This is our one chance. You
Yeah.
have to make a move."
He said,
That's
this
He's
is
like,
the one.
he's like, "I'm stuck. You have to like,
Yeah.
like this is you. You have to do it."
Hold
so
up,
Tony's like,
hold up. The callback
"Which one?"
between Tony and Strange when they first started.
Yeah.
Where he was like, yo,
One
is
in a
this
million.
He was like,
Yeah, he said, "Is this the one about 1 in 14 million?"
And
He
then
said,
what
"If I
he
told
said-
you, it won't work."
He's like, if I tell you what happens, it won't happen.
Yeah, it won't.
That's
be.
what
And
the
then
finger
Tony
was.
was like,
All right. And
So
then the
that's
finger was
why-
like, "This is the
This
one.
that
He said,
one
this
moment.
is the
This
one.
is the one.
I can't tell you, but you're on the right
Yeah.
track. Like
This is
this
the
is
one."
it.
whatever
and
you're
then
doing,
he's like,
keep doing
shit.
it. He's like, fuck that. If this is the one, come here. And he goes and he tries to like grab the gauntlet, and we're like, oh, he's gonna try to pull the gauntlet off Thanos' hand. That's not gonna work. I
He
thought he
made
was
the
gonna try to
gauntlet.
take pieces off
Nah,
of it
nigga, he
and
made
use
the
it,
gauntlet.
you know, to fight Thanos. This nigga gets knocked away again, right? So Thanos is like, finally, bro, like finally,
real.
I'm done with all you motherfuckers. He's like, I told you, I'm inevitable. Like I am inevitable.
Yeah, and it snaps.
And nothing
And
happened.
nothing
Nothing
happened.
happens.
He's like a dude
And,
with erectile
like I
dysfunction.
said, I thought initially it was he doesn't have the same power because
Oh.
Tony took one of the stones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he can't
But
do
then
the
it-
same scale.
and
with
they
Yeah.
Tony.
turned around
But then
the
it
gauntlet.
shows.
But then it shows the gauntlet was fucking empty,
All of
and he
them
looks
gone.
over at Tony, and you see all the gauntlets are like sliding up his nano wave
Nanobots.
into his glove. So now Tony has
He doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet,
He
but
has a
this-
makeshift
a
Infinity
makeshift
Gauntlet.
Infinity
He
Gauntlet
is
essentially
the
fits his
Infinity
suit.
Gauntlet.
but it's part of his suit. Yeah, so
No,
he
he isn't.
So he becomes the gauntlet essentially.
He's not the gauntlet.
And then
He is Iron Man.
Then after the inevitable line, you know,
I
Tony
am Iron Man.
hits us with his famous quote of
bro,
I
it got me in my bag, bro.
am Iron Man, and he snaps. When he snaps,
All
everything hits the fan.
Thanos' whole army is gone.
They
Yeah.
turned into
He
The
like
same
turns
way
dust.
everyone
He
got
dusts
dusted
everyone.
in Infinity War, every villain that was currently in like the space was dusted. He dusted the Sanctuary. He dusted the entire Chitauri. That
All
was
the
left.
rubble.
He does it
All the Outriders.
everything.
The Black Order.
And then what I
Dusted
love,
Thanos.
Thanos literally, he peeps it. He's like, damn, y'all got it.
Seriously.
Sits down, he's like, shit.
I'm going.
And then he goes. And I was like, wow.
It's crazy because like I had peeped it the third time I watched it.
What?
If you peep, he sits down the exact same way he did at the end of Infinity War.
Yeah, literally, he sits
The
down, he
only
just like-
difference is in Infinity War, he looked up with a smile.
This
and
one,
in
he
this
looked
one, he
down.
looks up at Tony
He just like,
and he like takes like a deep breath and he just looks down.
yeah, he
as,
literally like,
as
y'all,
he gets away.
like,
He's
you got
fuck,
it.
like you
and then
got
he
that
goes,
shit.
and then Thanos is gone.
Yeah.
You
But
got
so
that
is
shit.
Tony.
Then we find out that had more of a toll than we thought because
Because he's not banned.
look at the history of the Gauntlet and what it does to people. I mean,
that
Tony
nigga couldn't even take off his suit.
Tony
For real.
became
He couldn't see
Two-Face.
straight.
Yo.
Tony deadass became Two-Face. Half of his body was
This
burnt
nigga,
alive.
yeah,
And he's sitting up against this wall.
Yeah,
He literally had enough strength to stumble to the point where he could sit up against the wall
yeah,
and chill.
legit.
So then we see Rhodey come down.
Which I think this is the strongest one.
This-
I don't know why this one affects me so much, but it affected me more than Peter and fucking Pepper.
Well,
Just when Rhodey
right.
walks up to him, he like grips his head, he like
'Cause he
cradles his
means
head,
something.
Yeah.
and he just like smiles at him. And it's just like,
Dude,
like
he
we
smiled,
get it.
And then he
He
breaks
cried,
out
Yeah,
and
he
he
cried,
runs away.
and he
Brody
just
What
kind
I
of
love
like
is that
nods
he
at
did
him.
to
He-
Tony's development.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
walked away. He
Entirely.
walked away
Yeah,
before
he
he
walked
really
away.
started crying.
Yeah, and I was like,
He
man,
broke
that
the
was
fuck
fucking
down.
powerful as shit.
yeah.
And then
And it meant a lot more than people realize.
yeah, like
that's
and then
his
Peter
best
comes
friend,
in.
bro.
But for some reason, when Peter cries, it doesn't bother me.
That's probably because it
I
don't
don't
hit
know.
you in Infinity War.
Yeah, it didn't
Hon-
hit me that much. I'm like, okay,
You know
yeah,
what,
Peter's
Here's
very
the thing,
sad.
and here's my thinking behind it. For this whole entire thing, you would think like the hysterical crying stuff would be the things that got you, but it was like the little smile that Rhodey did that got me. It's the fact that Pepper didn't break down
Yeah,
crying. She
Pepper-
Pepper
was
smiled
like,
and
it's
said,
okay.
We're gonna be
gonna
okay.
Like,
It's
you
the fact
that hurt.
They says that you can rest now, which is a great fucking callback to
what I
when
said earlier.
she's like,
When
can,
he was able
I
to
can
sleep.
fucking not help them with the whole time travel stuff in the like from the
Right.
jump, and she's like, you could do that,
Right.
but would you be able to rest?
Now,
Exactly.
that
And I
was
was
back at
like-
the beginning of Act 1, or the end of Act 1,
Yeah,
beginning
that
2.
was
Yeah.
in that
When it was
And
like,
then-
oh, I
when
can
he
help
realizes he
They,
can
like,
go
talk
back
to
in
And
time.
here's
Pepper about
that's the thing that gets you. Like, you got that coming from her. You're like, oh, I was expecting her to hysterical cry. You got freaking Rhodey doing what he did.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, me personally, I'm thinking Iron Man's gonna do like some type of quippy thing or quiet the
No,
entire
they
time.
played this
He
scene straight.
already did
Well,
that
what-
quick shit.
What
You-
I
you
like
get
is
at
that
the
he was
very
so
end. He already
fit,
did
like
that.
he was so fucked up he couldn't speak.
Yeah.
And-
He
when
did.
when
Nigga did.
when Rhodey pulled up, it was quiet. Hold
Literally,
his head.
he always
he,
looks
put
like
his head on him
he
and then he
goes
walked
for
away.
air, like he's like he goes to
And
talk
that's the
and then
thing.
it cuts.
He did.
Yeah,
he
he
tried
tries
to
to
talk.
go to
Again,
talk
he
and
tries
it
to
just
talk
doesn't
like
work.
On
three
the part
times.
of Robert Downey Jr. being quiet the whole time, great acting,
Seriously.
portraying his feelings through just notion.
The dude is an amazing actor.
Oh
Yo,
my
absolutely.
God.
Top notch.
Did you see Sherlock Holmes? Of
Yeah.
course
Oh
he
my
is.
God, that movie was amazing.
Dude's awesome.
So you have Rhodey who walks away because he's about to break down and he kind of just,
That's not right now.
I made my
Good
peace.
scene, dude.
Who
Yada
was
yada.
it, Brandon?
I'm trying.
Peter comes in and he does like the fucking Peter thing. You know what I mean? He's like, Mr. Stark, you know, we did it. You know, we did it,
Yeah.
Mr. Stark. You know, it's okay. We did it.
I don't
We
feel
did it.
bad
Come on,
about Peter
come on.
crying,
Like
though.
we gotta get up. You
He
know,
cried all
we did
the
it,
damn
bro.
time.
We won. We
Kinda.
gotta go celebrate.
But-
Yeah,
we did it,
like-
and then he starts crying because fucking Tom Holland's real good at like forcing the cry. and stuff.
Honestly.
Because he's a crybaby.
He starts crying, and he's like, "Come on, Mr. Stark." And then what got me about his is when he said, "I'm sorry, Tony."
Yeah.
When he said it, his first
Yeah.
name, that part is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
showed
I was
me.
Your
Wow.
voice
Still
cracked just
crying,
now.
Because I was with you the whole time he was crying. I was like, this is expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
100%
Right.
expected it
Right.
from Peter.
Right.
But when he said, "Please, Tony," I was like,
Damn.
Yeah, I was like,
Because it also
Ooh,
showed
my
it like
eyes
that.
started to water.
Yeah, it also
And
showed
then
in that brief second that he matured up a little bit.
Yeah.
too.
That boy needs
And
a
then
fucking father figure. That's what his problem
Rescue,
is.
or I'm sorry, Pepper walked
yeah,
up.
Pepper.
And Pepper, literally, when she walked up, it was like when you see a newborn baby, right? And the baby sees like their dad, and the baby starts like bugging out because they
Yeah.
see somebody they're
Yeah,
familiar
literally,
with.
like,
The only gesture you see from Iron Man is when Pepper popped
yeah,
up.
he literally like,
Because he turned his head, his like shoulder moved, like he
Yeah.
wanted to reach for it, and he says, "Hey babe," in like the smallest fucking like.
see that it sounds like Pep to me. I think
Oh,
he's literally
it
going.
could've been Pep.
I think he's going like Pep.
Yeah, it
like
could've
that.
been-
Yeah.
it
There's something about Dr. Pepper.
He
Yeah,
was
he-
like, "Can you go get me one real quick before?"
Like,
I
for,
Yeah.
He's like
I'm
27
thirsty.
flavors. You know what I'm saying?
he's like, I
27. What's
like,
5 Infinity Gauntlets?
I,
27 flavors.
I've actually invented the 28th
Yeah, for
flavor,
real.
and just nobody knows about it. Save it
It's
for Morgan.
delicious.
But yeah, then she hits him with the
But she hits him with the
"We're gonna be okay."
Yeah, and that guy, because I was expecting her to be next to Peter crying. And
Yeah.
then she said,
No.
I was like,
She
God
got bigger balls than
damn
that
it.
boy.
Honestly.
Yo, she's
For
got
real.
fucking what's the name's powers. And
She-
she's
bro,
got
she
get
cried.
the fuck outta here.
Don't
said
like-
word?
look,
Yeah,
look,
she
look,
definitely
No, she cried.
She was the only one that broke down, but
Yeah.
she broke down after.
After.
Yeah.
She told after he died.
After she got she told him
He could
we're
rest.
gonna be good.
and then he
go,
sort
go.
of fell out and passed
Yeah,
on.
he's
And
gone.
then-
And then she broke down.
Yeah,
and I'm
and
pretty
then-
sure every fan, after she said that, literally thought of his daughter right after. I was like, God damn
And then
it.
That's
it
all
cuts,
I could think about
and
was
that's
like,
the
damn,
end of
Morgan.
the battle where it hit the end where
Then you go
the,
right into the fucking
funeral.
funeral.
We go into a funeral where there's no words said.
Yeah, nothing.
Like, everything was just chilling. And you have literally everyone we've seen in the MCU so far.
Yeah.
Like every big name. that
Yeah,
we've
everyone
seen in the
connected to
MCU.
Iron Man in some way. Are
And
there?
You have them take his the heart that he removed from himself at the end
Yeah,
of Iron
this
Man
is
3.
this is
And
what
they're
got me,
building that bitch.
and it's the one from Iron Man 1. It's a gift that Pepper gave him. That's like the the arc reactor, but it
So he
says
does
proof
have
that
a
Tony
heart.
Stark has a heart.
Yeah, because it's
And I'm
the
like,
same one him
damn.
and the doctor built
Yeah,
in the cave.
it's the one that stopped
Keep him
working.
alive.
And then
Yeah,
well, it didn't necessarily stop working, but it just didn't work
He
to the
didn't
same
need it.
potential
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
couldn't keep up with his new
yeah,
suits.
exactly.
He
Yeah,
used it up against Homeboy at the very end.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it was shorting out, and that's why he was like losing the whole
yeah,
time.
and it was like, oh, and then
but
like
then
they
she
put
got
it
it
into the
engraved
river.
in
And
was it Iron Man 2 or 3?
No, it was still in Iron Man 1.
At the very end.
No, he uses it at
He
the
uses
end of
it at
Iron
the
Man
end of
1
Iron Man
because
1. But she
Obadiah
got
Stane
engraved.
takes it out, the
Yeah,
new one
that's
out,
right.
and then he's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
and then he like
he's
slams
like
it down
dying.
and puts it back in him
Because
to
he
charge
took the
himself
new one
up.
to put into his
Yeah,
Iron Man.
yeah.
And then he goes and he's like dying.
Yeah.
And that's
And
that's
actually
when
he
breaks
puts that
it
one in.
and puts that and, that,
Yeah.
and then that's what
Yeah,
he uses for the
but
rest of it.
they push that out into the lake.
Yeah, it's like on some flour
Yeah,
bag
and
it's
I'm
pushed
just
into
like,
the lake and it's
that
just
scene,
together.
I was
You
just
push it
like,
into your
come
own
on,
lake, so where's it really
bro.
going?
Honestly.
It's
Prove
going
that
to the
Tony
other
Stark
side.
has a heart.
You know what I thought about though?
What?
These nuts.
Where's his body?
Buried?
Nah.
Is it though?
And
And what's crazy is
Nick Fury
there's-
got that shit.
So there's no end credit scene. So literally the end of this movie is literally so they pan out and show you everybody. It's not really important you to see all the characters.
Yep.
And you know everybody met somebody. The only significance you get from this scene is at the very end where John Favreau's character is with Morgan, who's Iron Man's daughter, and he's like, we're gonna be okay. Are you hungry? She's like,
I want a
yeah.
hamburger.
And she's like, yeah. He's like, what are you in the mood for? She's like, cheeseburgers. And he starts crying because if you remember in Iron Man 1, that's what
That's
what
all
Tony
he used to
wants.
eat.
That's all Tony wanted
Also,
to eat.
Robert Downey Jr. attributes his cleaning himself up on Burger King burgers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's lit.
He
That's
could
fucking lit.
he attributes that to him hitting his low at eating Burger King.
Like-
Because that's what he was
Okay.
eating
yeah.
all the time.
But so that's I was like, wow.
Right.
But then that scene's over, the funeral, and we cut to essentially, to me, the real build up for what comes next.
I feel like that's
Cap.
the build up.
Which
No,
is
no,
the
no, no,
cap.
no, no. I actually think the Thor thing was like more of a build up than
I
Cap.
feel that, but I don't know. I feel like the Thor thing is only a build up for Guardians.
Yeah.
I think all right, so Steve goes back in time.
So
Yeah.
now,
To return the
now
stones.
we're past this. Everyone's moved on from the funeral.
Oh,
We're
they
on-
ain't moved on.
Iron
They're
Man-
just standing there.
Yeah, Iron Man's story is officially done. Tony Stark's story is done as of right now. We move on to the next character in the timeline, I guess.
Avengers
In the
whatnots.
Avengers, fucking
Right.
chronology, and that's Captain America. So we have Captain America with Mjolnir. He has all the stones in a briefcase,
Briefcase.
and they're going back in time because he has to return all
Yeah.
the stones to make sure everything's cool. That's what the Ancient One was trying to explain to the Hulk, and he goes back in time. And when he goes
He's
back in
supposed to
time,
be back in like 5 seconds.
yeah, it's supposed to be like 5 seconds. He's gonna come back. He's gonna do everything he has to do. And Hawk even explains it. He says because Sam is worried about him. That's Sam's best friend. Sam and Bucky are Captain America's best friends.
Yeah.
So Sam is like,
Bucky's the old bitch.
yeah.
Sam's
Honestly,
the new
that's
bitch.
how they play it for real.
Yeah.
They really play it like Sam cares about him more than Bucky.
Well, I
does.
think when
But
Cap
Bucky's
says
still
to go
fucked
back,
up from the,
I think
concussion.
Bucky low key knew he wasn't coming back because
I
Bucky
agree.
they hug
Bucky knows him
and
the
he's
best.
like because if through the science, Cap's only gone for 5 seconds for them,
Yeah.
but Cap says his goodbyes like he's gone.
Exactly.
So like
Bucky knew.
So Bucky's like, oh okay, and then like
I
Falcon's
do
like,
think Bucky was surprised to see him.
oh I
come
think he
back,
was,
though.
but yeah,
Yeah.
when he
Because
came
he
back,
was like, hey
oh,
Sam, like,
yeah,
you know, like.
Yeah, like, go
Yeah,
Look at
ahead.
this
like,
motherfucker.
go, like,
you know,
yeah.
look who it is. You know what I mean?
But I
he
think-
goes back in time, right?
Yeah.
And he takes Mjolnir. He pretty much sets everything back to how it
Yeah.
was. We don't see that. And
Yeah.
that bothers me. That's one of the big
Why?
issues I
See,
have.
that doesn't bother me at
because
all.
I really wanted a fucking scene between him and the Red Skull.
No.
Oh.
No.
I
This
wanted
is
that
why-
so bad,
Bro, there's no.
I wanted that so bad.
This is the problem, though. You can't have a scene between him and the Red Skull shown because he wasn't staying. You feel me? Like,
do you
it's not the same. The Red Skull shows up to guide people to get the Soul Stone.
No, he's talking about past Red Skull, like when he was.
Well, he
alive
wouldn't
and
have
stuff.
needed to go back there because when
Yeah.
no,
they
no.
when they
He's
get
right.
the
No,
Tesseract
he's
from.
absolutely right. I'm talking about Red Skull
I
spirit.
mean,
Yeah,
Oh,
he wouldn't have
okay.
seen it
Yeah.
because he's only there to guide you to get
Yeah.
it. He's going back there to return it.
True, that's true. He might not even appeared.
Exactly.
He might have just dropped that
He
stone
gonna be like,
off.
well, oh fuck that.
Yeah.
Right now, not again.
But-
Mm-mm.
And then
Well,
he returns all his stuff.
Still though, like there's a lot of issues on how the stones got
Yeah.
back to where they were. That
Yeah.
kind of threw me off. Like, how are you gonna get it back in the cube? How are you gonna get it back in the wand?
How
You know what
I
mean?
attribute it is when you put them back in that time,
It'll
they
like
go
disappear
back,
from them and
they'll
go,
go back to
it
where
is
they were.
because
supposed
they're
to be.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
because
how
they're
we're
cosmic.
doing it.
Because if
For
he
you.
technically goes back like a minute before he even got him, they'll go
Like
back.
legit, the only one stone that was in its gem form is the time stone. The other ones all were in their raw forms. The ether, the Tesseract.
Tesseract was in the
Power
cube.
Stone was inside the fucking orb that you can't crack out with your hands.
Yeah.
Like all the other stones except for the time stone were still raw.
Yeah.
So the only way you could give back is like, yo, Sorcerer Supreme, we just left, but here you go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
So,
then
return everything
pretty much he
normal.
returns everything and he comes
He returns
back.
Mjolnir.
Yeah. I actually just got educated to that in this video, as you guys saw.
And the nigga stole the fucking shield. Being ass bitch.
So yeah, that's another thing. He took his shield from the past. Bucky points him out, and Sam walks over to this bench, and you see Steve Rogers, but he's old as shit. Which shows you the reason he's there is because he lived his life, knew where they were going to be, and decided to travel to that moment.
Yeah, he traveled from his timeline to that timeline.
Right, but by living his life.
Yeah.
He didn't use the quantum shit to come back and forth as an old man. He grew in that timeline.
He grew old and then went to that point.
Well, he had to.
Well, he
Because
walked
with
it.
the-
Well,
he
went
did.
there.
He jumped
would've
to
had
that
to
point.
jump to that
But he
point.
had lived
You
his
think
old
he
age.
jumped to the point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. It's confirmed.
Otherwise,
he
you
did.
couldn't have had the shield.
Because if he did, it would have been a different timeline.
Yeah.
He could have gone back there, but those events
None of
didn't
that
happen.
would have happened.
Yeah.
It would've
He
been
jumps
You're
back
right. You're
to
right.
that
You're right.
timeline.
Because when I first saw it, I had the theory that he lived with Peggy till she died, and then jumped back to his timeline,
Yeah.
so he could live his full
Probably.
life
Yeah.
with his girl.
Yeah.
Right.
But okay, so boom, he jumps back, and Bucky sees him. They walk over there. He's all old and stuff now, and Sam's shocked because he's like, damn, you actually did it. He was like, I thought I'd go get some of that life Tony was always telling me to get, and that hit me.
Yeah.
Because they were always arguing
For
and
real.
bitching at each other, and he was like, "Why don't you go
Right.
get a life?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? You're just some
Yeah.
dude with a super
Right.
like a super soldier." And the fact that he said, "Get some of that life Tony told me to get," it makes me wonder: had Tony
He's still
survived,
young.
would he have still done that?
Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it like a tribute to
It was
Tony? Like
kinda
he was
like,
like
yeah.
one of my
He
best
would've done
friends,
it. Right.
and he would have wanted me to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then amazing scene.
Tony was
The
a great
amazing
friend.
scene
Cap was a
of,
bad friend.
Him passing the torch
Yeah.
to Sam Wilson. And he
Literally.
was like, "How's it feel?" And this is one of my favorite lines. He said, "Well, try it on. How does it feel?" He was like it belongs to somebody else. And then Cap pauses for a minute. He goes, "It doesn't."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ooh, that was good."
See, but I thought he was going to reply with, "It does. It belongs to everyone." Like, that it represents everyone.
Okay,
That's what I thought he was
actually
going to
glad
go
they
with.
didn't do that
Because
because
that-
that would have been real corny.
I
for me.
thought he was going to do that, but he didn't.
America,
Yeah.
Nah, that's fine.
And he
But-
was just like,
never
"It
do that
doesn't.
again."
It belongs
yeah,
to
right.
you."
Never
Now,
do that again.
so that's all said and done with. It's pretty much
It's
the
confirmed-
ending of Captain's story is him passing the torch to Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
So now we have
He ain't dead though.
possibly
He's
the
old.
he's
He's
old.
Cap lives.
Possibly
he's
the
just old.
adventures of Sam and Bucky, and you never know. Maybe Cap could take the place of Shield
Maybe,
as
yeah.
like Nick Fury's
No.
role or whatever. But we still have Nick Fury.
Yeah.
We still have
Yeah.
Nick Fury.
Hey, you can't kill off Sam Jackson like that.
They killed him off in Infinity War.
can't kill him like
and Black
that.
Panther. They ain't giving on none of my
They
noise.
said, "My niggas
They
dumb."
didn't die. They just got
He
dusted.
said, "Yo, we got
Hold
off
up.
for Martin Luther King
Yeah.
Day." And nah.
They ain't died. They just got dusted. That's totally different.
But now we have the last of the trio, who is Thor, and we see Thor, who's back on not the Asgardian ship, the Guardians of the Galaxy
Guardian
ship
ship.
with the Guardians. He's with the rest of the Guardians. It's almost like we're going back to Ragnarok days because it's just Thor with the Guardians, and he's all excited. This is like, I like that they saved Thor for last because it was upbeat. It was like emotional,
Yeah.
right before he goes with them, he passes his torch to Valkyrie because she is now in charge of
New Asgard.
New Asgard, right?
She is
And
the
she was a little
queen
shocked.
of
She
the
was like, "Whoa!"
Asgardians.
She's
He was
new
like,
ass.
she was like, "Well, we need a king," and he was like, "Well, they have one, in you." And she's like, "Oh my god, yeah." So they have that bicker back and forth. She becomes the new ruler of Asgard. Thor is now free to do his escapades with the Guardians, which is what he wants to do for
Because
whatever
he's a
reason.
god of thunder,
Now-
not Asgardian king.
Exactly. So now you have Thor and the Guardians are in the ship talking about stuff. And mind you, this is just a bunch of funny ramble between them. I'm not going to go into it because you should see it for yourself. Like it's actually pretty funny and like a little chuckle
I'm a
moment.
judge.
And it's
Better have
a good
seen it
way.
for themselves.
It's a good way to
I'm a
lift your
judge.
spirits after being devastated by two of your biggest characters. So you find out that they're going to be on a search for Gamora at some point. Because right before you see Thor, it goes to Peter. And it shows his computer, and it's Gamora, and it says searching.
Peter
And then
Quill.
he hears Thor talking as he's
And
walking up
clears it.
into the scene, and he clears it out the way. Like, no one's supposed to see that. It's probably going to be a
Everybody
battle
knows.
of, I want to go save my girl, and we should go together. Who knows? We never know what
Yeah.
James Gunn's going to do with Guardians 4.
For real. Three.
But, oh yeah,
I'm
3.
telling-
I'm sorry.
you know
I do
who's
know
gonna be in
Adam
it.
Warlock's going to be in it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
hyped
nigga.
for it.
About,
I'm super hyped
about
for that.
time.
Yeah.
And what I speculate
They need Thor to beat his
they're
ass.
going to introduce Beta Ray Bill at some point.
Maybe, yeah.
Because
They
now
need
they're
Thor to beat
going
his
around.
ass.
Yeah.
I mean, Ragnarok showed that he exists.
True.
Yep.
And now they have Stormbreaker.
Yo,
So never know.
Ragnarok, Beta Ray Bill was on point, but that nigga was getting he wasn't getting the love they needed.
I mean, he was at the bottom, but what I liked about him being at the bottom of the heads is that it meant he was the first champion.
I can give you that.
And that's
All
tough to me.
I'll
He
give
was
you
the
that.
first champion until he got beat by Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Man Thing.
No, Man Thing.
Man Thing. And then
Older
Man
than
Thing
Swamp Thing.
got beat by that two-headed guy.
Yeah, I forget his name.
And then that two-headed guy got beat by somebody else, and then the Hulk beat all of them.
Yeah.
Because
But
Hulk's a shit.
I guess we'll end it
Yeah.
with...
But that was pretty it. Or that was pretty much it.
Pretty much.
One thing I
Yeah,
will
it's pretty
say
shit.
is the reason I had mentioned the whole Iron Man body thing that I wanted to talk to you specifically about, and you guys, of course,
Well, fuck you then.
is people kept coming to me at the end when I said there's no like post-credit scene. They're like, oh, well, when you see the Marvel 10-year studios thing come up, you hear Iron Man building something in the background. So
No,
maybe
no,
I missed.
that's not
And
it.
I'm like, okay, they confirmed that that's true. And I just read about that like yesterday.
What?
I watched a video. Joe and Anthony Russo confirmed that that's true.
What?
Or not
Ew.
not Joe and Anthony.
That
but
I
there,
don't like.
But there is like a
Yeah,
a
but
noise
it's not
at the
Iron
end,
Man.
Well,
and
yeah,
it's to
there is.
foreshadow Iron Man's story. They're going to
Okay.
continue
I'll
his
give you
story,
that.
but probably not with him.
Yeah.
The real question
yeah.
is: are they going
Are
to give
they
it to
going
his
Iron
daughter,
Maiden?
Iron Maiden, or are they going to give it to Iron Lad and make the young boy Iron
Yeah.
Man? I think that they're going to continue it through Peter for now,
Which I
Yeah.
like.
which
like
I
that.
really like that a lot. If you
Yeah.
guys saw the
Iron
Spider-Man
Spider.
trailer,
But we can
But-
leave that for another video.
yeah, now I'm rambling. So that's
started off rambling.
that's the whole movie, guys. You guys have our likes and dislikes. We will be dropping another Endgame movie to go deeper into discussion when we have the time. In case you guys have any questions you leave on this that you want answered and stuff like that, there will be another Endgame video. We can promise you that.
Before we end it, I want to, like,
Go ahead.
what do you think? Like,
Oh my
Score?
God! Go watch the movie. Like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
If you haven't already, for some reason.
My
Yeah.
critic score, and this is me being an asshole. I went in looking for issues. I gave it an 8 out of 10, and that is me looking for problems. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I was being nice with Captain Marvel, giving it a 6.5. If I was looking for issues, I would have told you don't watch the fucking movie. Anyway,
go watch the
Endgame.
Captain Marvel video.
Don't do that.
Go
Oh,
watch our
the
review.
video.
Watch
Don't
our
the
review on
movie.
Captain
For
Marvel.
Plug.
Plug. Just stamp. No, but I personally, snap grab rating 8 out of 10. Man, I love the movie. Once I went in as I dealt with the little issues I had, I couldn't find anything else I didn't like. Everything I loved. I could focus on the shit that I did like, and it just made the movie so much better. You're gonna want to see it more than once, so just be prepared for that.
Bro.
So any questions you have, if we can't answer them for you, or if we didn't go over it already, you can comment, bro. Comment down below. We love hearing from you guys. I get a couple comments on these every couple weeks or whatever, and it's just so nice to get feedback from you because we know you're listening, and you guys got to understand we're listening. Any comments you have, we'll either respond right then or we'll put it in another video at some point. But yeah, all in all, you got to go see Endgame.
For real.
If you watched any of these movies for the past 11 years, you have to see Endgame because that's what this all was for.
But
Honestly.
But by now, if y'all watch this whole thing, this was a spoiler.
I
It was
mean,
a spoiler
yeah.
thing,
Yeah,
so
we
you should have
dropped a lot of
seen.
spoiler alerts
You should have
in,
seen this
in
already.
the beginning.
Yeah,
So
but-
really, I mean, if you haven't seen it, go see the fucking
Honestly,
movie.
Mike,
If you
what do you
have
think?
seen it, tell me what you think.
About the
Anyway,
movie?
100 patient.
Overall?
Score, whatever.
What's your score?
I'm
and
not
what
gonna
you
give it a
thought?
score. I don't like the scores.
Okay.
He said.
See or don't see? I
score
say
me one.
definitely see.
Oh, definitely.
After you see it, if you haven't seen any before that, you're gonna want to watch them. So I say watch this movie. Period.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Thumbs up.
It's a good movie.
See, anytime I think in my head, I always think 8.5 immediately, but I have to give it up to a 9 just because emotionally wise, it got me.
Right.
True.
So I'm like, I gotta bump it up because the
Right.
last time I cried during a movie was Logan.
Yeah, because I mean, if it hits you, it means
Yeah.
there, I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's emotional
It means there-
connection.
So yeah, I have
so
to bump it up just because of
I
that.
didn't cry
And
though.
Jim
me?
Shady? Jim Shady?
I
9.5.
9.5.
I mean, for me, not only I'm Thanos is my boy.
Facts.
Thanos is my boy. I'm a ride or die Thanos boy. I always have been.
Jam Shake is the biggest
Angry
Thanos fan I
Grimace,
know.
he be kicking ass.
And then-
And he was putting in the work. There's no reason for me not to like this movie, honestly, from both sides.
Yeah.
So, and it was the only movie that, like, I didn't cry, but, like,
It
one
got you.
more
Yeah.
thing would have pushed me
Yeah.
for sure. Like, if they had done one more thing, I would have been ugly crying like a guy I know.
Well, hold up. What about when you got the cameo from
Yeah, I was going to say, we gotta mention.
you know who?
We have to mention
From
that cameo.
Granddaddy Stan Lee.
Oh, the Stan Lee cameo. So I actually didn't understand it, but apparently there's a lot of depth behind that cameo.
Well, I get
specifically.
it. It's like the Vietnam thing, I assume, or Korean War, based on the year. and it's like make
Ties
peace,
back
not
to
war.
him.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like it ties back like don't
That
make
ties
war.
back to Stan Lee himself.
And
Yeah.
I think it had
Lee.
something to do with like something he created or something.
Oh,
Like,
does it?
One
I
of
think,
his.
I think
one
Carbon
of his,
Chicken said that before.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's like something. It's like something about that. I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
But it's something deep with him
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, like him
And-
personally.
And that's why
Okay.
Like that's why it was his last
Okay,
one. 'Cause
yeah.
He could have done a lot.
Yeah, he could have.
And then this is just a quick excerpt from me, but it couldn't be controlled. Our man died. Rest in peace, Stanley. But if he would have had another cameo at Tony's funeral, I would have been dead.
Yeah, I mean, you have to put in
That would be
perspective.
badass.
These were filmed at
Yeah.
the same. Infinity War
Yeah.
and Endgame were filmed at the same
same
time.
time.
Yeah.
That was 2018.
I actually just found out the I Am Iron Man thing
That's-
wasn't scripted.
No, it was scripted.
No, but I'm saying it wasn't. It was put in like 2 months
Yeah,
ago.
it was
Yeah.
literally
It was
put in like
reshoots.
during the final editing thing.
Seriously,
and the editor was
what
like,
sucked was like Tony, like Robert didn't want to do that. Like they said he cried so much at the end of like filming that like he cried again when they asked him to come back. Like John Favreau was like, yeah, like a bunch of days and tears later, he finally said yes.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Dude, this is
If we thought we were hit by that, imagine how
For
they
real.
feel. They've been doing this shit for 12
been
years.
A life
For real.
Well, not their entire life, but a major
For the
part
most
of their
of it,
life.
honestly.
I mean, for
For the
a
last
while.
12
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
like that's their money, their name.
For real.
You have like they've had to be those characters physically
Mm-hmm.
for 12 years. Like you couldn't like grow your hair out, shave your beard off, shit like that. Like
Right.
yeah, you got makeup, but you have to be that iconic character
Absolutely.
for 12 years.
Yeah,
Seriously,
but
like
with
you hold on to that. But
Yeah.
With that being said,
Yeah, seriously.
thank you for the 12 years that led up to this. Thank
Yeah.
you for every memory you guys given
thank
us.
you.
Joe,
From Baku.
Anthony Russo. I don't know if you'll ever see these fucking videos, but you guys did an amazing
I'ma
job.
make 'em
I
see
was
it.
very, very skeptical towards the end for a while, you know, with the things you were doing in Infinity War with Ragnarok and mixing storylines together. Like, it was bugging
Well,
me.
they didn't do Ragnarok.
Oh, they didn't?
No, that was Taiki with I can't fucking.
Damn, I didn't know that. Then
Yeah,
forgive
he
me.
didn't do
but,
that.
but with the way the MCU was going, I was getting a little confused and shook. So I wasn't sure how well this was going to finish. But Infinity War and Endgame were probably the closest to perfect endings you could have given
For
us
real.
as fans to
Honestly.
this MCU. Like creating your own universe out of characters we all know and love, and mixing stories to make them more interesting. Like you guys shed a lot of light to characters not many people really knew. I'm gonna be honest. Y'all made me a fan of Doctor Strange.
I
And
did
I
not like
appreciate
Doctor Strange.
that.
What the fuck about me?
I
I've
know
been
you.
telling you about him for
You
years.
have,
And
but
I-
to
yeah.
me,
I always liked
okay.
Doctor
Hungry
Strange,
Patient
so
was
I
like, "Yo,
just-
he a
I just
wizard. He
never
be doing magic
cared
shit."
for
In
him.
my head, I'm like, "Magic, black boy."
Yeah.
But
Hurt my feelings.
seriously, guys, thank you to all of our supporters out there. I said at the end of every video, you know, we thank you guys the most because, you know, we get views and we get people hitting us up and asking us questions. You don't know how many times me, Banzai, and Jamshake are at work and our coworkers run around. When's the next video drop?
For real.
When's the next video drop?
They be
You-
bugging me.
you
I
guys-
smack the shit out of them because they be bugging me. But they keep on coming back.
Facts.
So I
But nah.
say, okay.
Seriously, man, you guys make this amazing for us. You guys make this fun for us. You guys make me want to be like, yo, we're recording again tomorrow. We're recording again tomorrow.
Like-
we want to push more out because you guys support us so
Like,
much.
that
We can't
ass
thank
is,
y'all enough.
this video was only supposed to be like an hour, but it's like 2 hours.
Facts.
Like-
so we're gonna break this one up like we broke up the last
It'll
one.
probably just be in 2 parts. But
I can say it.
Yeah.
It's Endgame. You can watch it. full of
honestly,
shit for,
like,
Endgame.
for real.
But with
But
that being
with that
said,
being said,
this
guys,
is the end game.
This is the
Oh.
end game. So, thank you so much for watching FCTV. We can't thank you guys enough. I am your host, Snapple Grapple, and I'm saying peace. To my left, go ahead, guys.
Oh, I thought we was gonna snap. My bad.
We can snap at the end.
Well, now I don't want to do it.
Well, now I want to, so I'm gonna set up.
I'm hungry,
left-handed.
patient.
Banzai Wolfburger. Oh yeah.
Jimmy Jam Shake. We in the game. 3, 2, 1, snap!